Hey PMT, I'm a teacher at a high school and we are celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week this week. Part of that is playing a game every day called Lucky Duck. Every staff member gets to select a rubber ducky with a number on it.
I know where this is going.
I won.
On today's Pardon My Take, we have Keith Yandle on the show, former NHL Iron Man. We're still giving him the Iron Man. Very cool guy. Awesome talk. He gives us some insight into playoff hockey. He tells us some funny stories about his career, the creation of the word Sonk, which is a very funny story. Great interview. We also are going to talk some NBA. Game 1 of Warriors-Lakers delivered. We had the Knicks basically get Scott Foster on their side for a win against the Heat. Max versus Hank. Game 1 goes to the Sixers. We're going to get to that. We have Hot Seat, Cool Throne, and Guys on Chicks. Packed show today, and it's brought to you by our friends at Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. For over 30 years, they have dedicated themselves to protecting the people, not the powerful. If you've been injured in an accident, Morgan & Morgan makes it easier for you. File a claim online, upload pictures, evidence, text your lawyer, get a settlement direct deposited. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Over 800 lawyers nationwide, over $15 billion recovered so far, over 100 offices, over 30 years of experience. The fee is free. You only pay if you win. Visit forthepeople.com/PMT or dial pound law to start a claim today. We're with Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan today. Great guy. Taping some stuff with him. We love Morgan & Morgan. They love us. We are Morgan & Morgan guys. So go visit forthepeople.com/PMT or dial pound law to start a claim today. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd, and the Warriors and Lakers Game 1 delivers. So much hype for this series, so much hype surrounding Steph versus LeBron, and it ended up being Anthony Davis with an all-time performance and Jordan Poole being like, everyone get out of the way, I got this. Let me jack up a shot, try to tie the game late. It was awesome, though, PFT. It was a great game.
Yeah, it was great. I think what we're seeing is LeBron might be better as a Robin than he is as a Batman. They've got a true number one option finally on the Lakers in AD, who looks healthier than we had predicted. AD is the healthiest man alive right now. I don't think that you can make an argument against that.
He was fantastic. He was going into this series, a lot of people smarter than us were basically like, this series kind of goes with Anthony Davis because the Warriors will shoot threes. The Warriors will be able to maybe get out in transition. The Lakers have the size mismatch, and the Lakers go to the free throw line. And Anthony Davis asserted his size mismatch, was awesome on the boards, scoring. He kind of ran out of gas a little bit on the end, but he played the entire second half. He ended up playing 44 minutes, and you had like everything. It was Anthony Davis early, the Warriors making a late run, and then, like I said, Jordan Poole. I like Jordan Poole just because, well, I would not like him if I was a Warriors fan because he would drive you insane. But I respect the hell out of a guy who not only will do a heat check, but he does like the quickest heat checks ever. If he makes one shot, he's like heat check time. He had one in, I think, the second quarter where he might have made 2 threes in a row, and the next possession down, he launched like a 40-footer. He's like, I just got to see if I'm never going to miss again. And he did miss.
And also the fact that he's doing these quick heat checks when he has Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on his team too. He's like, nobody has ever anointed themselves as the third Splash brother quicker than Jordan Poole has. He's like, yeah, the three of us, I think we're probably the 3 best 3-point shooters in the history of the NBA.
The last possession that the Warriors had, they're down 3. There's like 14 seconds left. Steph gets double teamed at half court because they were like, we're not going to let Steph shoot. So he dumps the ball off to Jordan Poole, but you have 14 seconds left. So the idea there is you can now run a little bit of offense. Steph can run through some screens. Maybe Clay gets open, but no. Jordan Poole was like, my time. He passed it to me for a reason. It's my turn to shoot. And he misses it.
He hit a three earlier in the fourth quarter that was Steph Curry-like, so I think he thought that he had become Steph Curry. The little runner that he did, that looked like a shot that you would put up at the end of a quarter, he absolutely nutted on that one, and he started doing his like little threes out to the side on the way back. So, yeah, he was feeling himself. So I do respect his confidence. Yeah. I respect his confidence. I might not respect his ability to close out games, but I will respect his ability to believe that he will be able to close out games. Yeah, and you're right. It would have been perfect. That's exactly the time where you want Draymond to set up one of his patented like moving screens with an elbow to the ribs, get Steph Curry open, and that's why you have Draymond on your team for like make the refs call you for a moving screen at that point. Just get Steph open and let him shoot a shot and hope that you can tie it up that way. Draymond also did get moving screened himself by, was it AD that got him?
Yeah.
And flipped out. We had a classic Draymond Green moment where he started screaming at every ref. He started mimicking the calls of the referees. He started reenacting the fouls to the refs. And you knew that once Draymond starts making that walk over to the scores table, you know, everybody that's watched basketball knows that walk from Draymond where he looks like he's got like toilet paper stuck between his butt cheeks. And he just kind of waddles over to the scores table. You knew he was about to get a technical.
It also is like, it's funny too, because Draymond, like he gets calls that are reputation calls where he will get, suspended or whatever. He also kind of gets away with a lot because he does yell at the refs constantly. And they're like, you know what, we'll end up probably teeing you up later. Let's just save this. So not to overreact to game one, but I'm going to, my fear of LeBron and the Lakers making a championship run has elevated to another rung. So I do think this is going to be a great series. I obviously, like game one, especially the Warriors coming off of game 7, I don't know how they're going to solve for the fact that the Lakers are just taller than them. Like they're taller and they can score in the paint and the Warriors don't really want to play in the paint. I'm a little nervous about that part because I think being tall in basketball is pretty important.
Yeah, I guess some would say that. My high school coach would definitely agree with you on that one. But I think also at the same time, the Warriors have been going up against that as long as they've been in this iteration of the Warriors.
Correct.
Like that's how the Warriors broke the NBA. Every team was much bigger than them, and they used to have the ability to use that to their advantage.
But counterpoint would be they had Kevin Durant, who's a 7-footer.
No, even before that, before they got KD.
Well, before that, Draymond Green was not an offensive liability, and they were all younger and maybe could play more minutes. So
that's the difference because, like, you're right because Draymond had the ball in the fourth quarter several times where Anthony Davis gave him about 15 feet of room on the perimeter, and Draymond didn't even turn and face the basket. He just caught the ball and then just started looking to pass immediately. That's exactly the difference. But still, if Clay and Steph have a game where they're both at the top of the games together, they're going to win that game every time. I put this loss on the fans and the city of Golden State, because somebody mixed up the colors tonight, big time. All the fans, it was a yellow out. They were all wearing yellow on the night that the Lakers were wearing yellow. That can't happen in the playoffs. You're the Warriors. You've been there before. Get your shit together, Golden State.
I also don't like. I'm a traditionalist here. I'll probably be an old man yelling at clouds. I said it on Monday night. Hank's agreeing with me. When you're in the playoffs, you wear your jerseys. You wear your classic jerseys. You wear your home. You wear your road. Like, don't fuck it up. Don't, like, the Celtics not wearing white at home. Like, that was the green and the red matchup was stupid. This one's stupid. Like, it's the playoffs. There should only be 2 jerseys in the playoffs. I don't want your City Connect. I don't want your 17th Nike jersey. Again, I do sound like an old man right now, but I want your classic jersey playing in the playoffs, because here's the thing. When we look back at these games and they're classic games and you remember these moments, I want to remember the classic jerseys. I don't want to see the Warriors in black, or the Celtics playing in green versus the Philly playing in red, where it's like one team should be wearing white. I don't get it.
Yeah. The Warriors had a flower on their jersey. I want to see a bridge. I want to see a fucking bridge on the Golden State Warriors uniforms.
Too many jerseys. There's too many jerseys in the NBA.
It's Nike's fault.
It's really actually, you know what? That's also kind of proves how great these playoffs have been. That the only complaint I have is there's too many jerseys. That's it, because they've been that great.
I just want to know where the miscommunication was, because you can't have the fans all wearing yellow while the Lakers are wearing yellow on your home court. That can't happen.
Yeah. It's going to be a great series.
I think it's because I think Nike picks the jerseys for the teams, and I'm guessing that the arena is not in full, like, they don't know necessarily. So they just say we're going to do a yellow out, assuming that it's going to be normal jerseys.
Well, they got to get on the same page for game 2. Because that's a must win for the crowd. You gotta have matching uniforms for the players and for the crowd in game 2, or else this whole series is done.
They should never deviate from you got 2 jerseys, bring 2 jerseys, that's it for the whole playoffs. That's what I want. But yeah, this the series is gonna be great. I don't know, like, if Anthony Davis plays like this every single night, it's gonna be hard to beat the Lakers, because the Warriors don't really have an answer for him. And then, like you said, the Warriors can obviously go insane from 3 at any moment, and there will be one of those games where they probably win it by 20 because they hit all their threes. It's a very interesting series because it's like 2 very different teams in how they want to play, and I don't know who's can you win playing in the post? Can you win hitting threes? We'll find out.
Yeah, I had a thought when I was watching the end of this game when Draymond was getting teed up. Because I wanted to know so badly exactly what he was saying, because they showed people in the crowd that were laughing at what Draymond was saying to the refs. I think Draymond should mic himself up. He should do a personal mic'd up and then just record an entire podcast during the game of him running around talking to people. And slide it, he'll defend against LeBron in the post and be like, LeBron, you're a guest on my podcast right now. And then just start talking to him as they're playing.
Yeah, I'd listen. Well, I watch already. Because I guess we're watching the YouTube version. It's already released, right?
Yeah. New media,
it would be cool alternate feed. And it would just have to be like, they'd have to put all the warnings in it beforehand.
Yeah, you're going to – most of it, 90% of it is going to be grunts and then Draymond breathing hard.
Draymond has to sign a contract before, or makes ESPN sign a contract before, being like, I cannot be canceled for whatever I say because I'm going to say some shit.
Or just put it out himself. That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, they mic up some of the players. I forget who it was on the Knicks that was mic'd up. That was awesome tonight. But if Draymond just strapped a microphone, taped a microphone underneath his jersey to himself, and then just record his own podcast during a game, that's what I want to hear.
Okay, so other game. This is. I know that the games are on at 10 o'clock at night, and it sucks how late they start. But I won't miss a second. And I don't think anyone should. If you're a basketball fan, you cannot miss a second of this series. Other game. Knicks tie it up 1-1 thanks to Scott Foster. So, and the Heat lost, but they won because Jimmy Butler didn't play, and the missed call on the ball hitting the rim where the Heat got an easy layup off a missed 3, and they called a shot clock violation. That did kind of change the flow and outcome of the game. Nick shouldn't apologize, but the Heat have to walk away being like, we had no Jimmy, we have no hero, Max Strus got hurt, and we still almost won this game.
Yeah, no, moral victory for the Heat. And Jimmy Butler was waving bye to the New York fans when he was leaving, and that's not a move that you do if you're not going to play in Game 3. He knows he's going to play in Game 3, and it's going to be different. So if I'm a Heat fan, I'm happy. If I'm a Knicks fan, I'm also happy.
Yeah,
because you had to win this one. What, Hank?
Oh, you're ahead of me. Go ahead, Hank.
I don't want to
Kraken won?
Yeah. Pavelski, dude. I wanted the Cinco.
He had 4 goals. What a performance. Joe Pavelski from?
The U.
No. Wisconsin. Badger. Dude, what a game. 4 goals. But the Kraken are fucking we got to get back to the Knicks Heat, but the Kraken, every time they're on the screen talking about jerseys, they have the cleanest jerseys I've seen from an expansion team. Usually when an expansion team starts, it takes a while for your eyes to like be like, this is a real team I should take seriously. They look awesome.
Yeah. It also, Ryan Whitney's full of shit for saying the Kraken, we're going to win one game in the playoffs.
Great sports town. Hank's always said that. Yeah. The Kraken, Joe Pavelski, dude, 4 goals and you can't win. How do you waste that?
That's tough.
Unreal.
That's tough.
That's brutal. Yeah, the Kraken, I was thinking about it too because, we had the discussion about the shocking factor of the Bruins loss versus the Bucks. The fact that the Kraken and then the Golden Knights, when they did it a few years ago, the fact that an expansion team can be like deep into the playoffs in the NHL tells you how volatile the NHL is. Like remember whenever they would add a team to the NFL or MLB and they would just suck for a decade?
The expansion draft is run a little bit different in hockey than it is in other
of course.
sports. It's designed by its very nature to make the teams competitive right off the bat, which is smart because you want to establish a market because it's tough to grow. If it's a city that doesn't have an ice hockey team, it's tough to grow that organically through some bad years at the very beginning.
Right.
So it's smart what they do. The NFL just basically says, okay, you guys are going to show up and watch this shit because it's the NFL and you'll watch when we tell you to watch.
Yeah, you get the
and
first
they
pick,
can get
have
away
fun.
With it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's David Carr.
But yeah, shout out to Kraken. What a fucking, they're up 1-0 in the second round. Damn. All right, Heat Knicks. Yeah, the Heat got screwed. What are you going to do? And also, Spoelstra's the best coach in the league. I think I think he might take over the title. I think he might be. Pop has not been in the playoffs for a few years. I think Spo is the best coach. Like the fact that he had that team almost winning at the Garden, missing 3 guys, and having the refs go against you. The shit he was doing, like when he was just having them both, Jalen Brunson was running pick and roll and they were both dropping and it completely confused the Knicks for like a solid 4-minute stretch where Jalen Brunson had no idea what was going on and they couldn't figure it out because both guys were dropping off the pick and roll. Like he just makes adjustments that gives his team edges that I don't think anyone else is making right now.
That's an interesting discussion. Is Spo the best coach in the NBA right now? I mean, my theory is that Pop has been tanking intentionally to try to get Wembanyama.
But he can't count if he's been tanking. Like he's
been a good job at it.
But he's getting like the Heat are not the most talented team. I know the Knicks aren't either. But like it's incredible that they're in these games without Jimmy Butler.
Let me ask you this: if you were to replace Steve Kerr with Eric Spoelstra, how much better are the Warriors?
Now that's tough because I'm a big believer in NBA coaching. X's and O's very important. Spo does it better than I think anyone right now. But management of egos is also equally as important. Kerr does a great job with that. Like whenever people would say like, oh, well, Phil Jackson had MJ and then he had Kobe and Shaq. It's like, dude, you have to get all these guys to buy in and fall in line. It's not that easy. If it was that easy, all these coaches would have titles if they have the best players.
Yeah, Phil Jackson was managing Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Shaq, Kobe, Dennis Rodman, and he was also banging the owner of the team too. Yeah. I think he's pretty good at managing egos.
So the answer, I guess, might be that Steve Kerr's number 2 right now. I just think what Spoelstra's doing with this Heat team, like they weren't supposed to beat the Bucks. It feels like every year they're getting farther than what they're expected. And tonight I was watching being like, I think we all sat down and thought that the Knicks would just kill the Heat because the Heat won game 1. Jimmy Butler's not playing. And they were in that game. It was like 1 call goes the other way, 2 calls go the other way. They might win that game.
I would say Quinn Snyder, also a sneaky X's and O's guy for one of the best ones. And then Brad Stevens. He's a great X's and O's guy. He probably should be coaching the team right now.
Yeah, maybe get to that
nice
later.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, nice foreshadow. Either way, Knicks are 1-1. Knicks don't apologize for a win. I saw the parade outside. It does look fun every single time when they do the parade on 7th Ave. But if you're a Knicks fan, you also have to be in the back of your head like, shit, Jimmy Butler didn't play, and we got a couple of very nice calls go our way, and we still, barely won.
We had to have it, so again, like Big Cat said, don't apologize for winning because you
Yeah.
could not lose that game. Much like Kevin Love's outlet passes were a fun thing to watch the other night. Sneaky fun part about this Knicks game, Havenstein's tip outs.
Yes.
He's just a deflection and tip out machine. I know he doesn't get credit for rebounds on all of them, but he creates chaos when the ball's in the air, and he's actually very fun to watch rebounding.
That was the other one. He was all over the place. There was a play where Josh Hart pushed him over, and then they called a foul. Scott Foster called a foul on Bam, and it was just like, what are we watching now?
He's the greatest to ever do it.
Guess what? I want all these series to go 7 because it's a great second. Except maybe Nuggets Suns, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, like give me Knicks Heat. Give me the Mecca Game 7. Why not?
Yeah, that'd be fun. And again, Scott Foster. It's fun when there's one Scott Foster because he's the guy that you can laugh at and make these jokes about. But when the league has multiple Scott Fosters, then it's just officiating sucks.
Yes. All right, last thing before we kick it to ourselves, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Max versus Hank. We got Keith Yandle. Great show. Rest of the show. Congratulations to Joel Embiid. So, Max, you're now up 2-0 on the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. The video was nice. It obviously meant a lot to him. It was good to see the camaraderie of the team, but I'm not really looking for personal trophies. I want championships.
A quick question, Big Cat. Do you know anything about the recent history of people who win the MVP and that translating to playoff success?
So let me see. Off the top of my head, Jokic just won the last 2.
Have the Nuggets gone far?
Do not have any titles. Nope, that's true.
Okay.
They do not have any titles. Who won it before Giannis? Giannis did win it before he won a title. He won 2 in a row. So I guess maybe next year the Sixers will win. And then before that, who? Harden and Westbrook? They don't have any titles.
Okay.
Steph would be the last one, I would think.
Interesting. Okay. I just didn't know. So I know that you're a historian of the game, so I figured I'd ask you that question.
Yeah, good question.
I will say I like Embiid. It's a great story. In the tweet from 2014, when he tweeted, he made a Photoshop of the MVP rankings in the future, and he put himself on top, and everyone was shitting on him. This was 2014. I don't think he had not played or just got drafted, and everyone was like, "You're trolling. I can't believe you're trolling. Like, get on the court and stop tweeting and stuff." And it's like, no, he became MVP.
Yeah.
I thought that was disrespectful to Kobe because he had Kobe, third? I think it was him, then LeBron, then Kobe.
One of the top replies in 2014 was like, Kobe's not going to be breathing then. And everyone today was like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh my God.
It's crazy. It was like the top reply from 2014.
Is that Laker Dan? No, Joel Embiid is like one of the most likable stars in the league. I don't know outside of Hank. No, actually, we'll get to that. We'll save all the Sixers Celtics talk because Hank might actually like Joel Embiid. Jake, go ahead. You had your hand raised.
Yeah, going back to Heat culture, I had to throw it in there. I have a Heat culture stat of the day. The Heat had 74 points by undrafted players tonight, the most by any team in a playoff game in the modern era.
That is Heat culture.
And that's Spo. Like that's crazy to think about.
So tough game.
74 points.
Tough calls, but
the
Knicks played well down the stretch.
Who was that? So was that Caleb Martin, Max Strus? Who else is undrafted?
Caleb
Martin might have been drafted.
Was he drafted?
Oh, Gabe Vincent probably.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent had a great game. Maybe Haywood Highsmith, maybe.
That's crazy. That is a crazy stat.
Yeah, so that's great. And then also
Caleb Martin was undrafted.
And then also the Panthers won.
Oh yeah. Congrats to the Panthers. Panthers look fucking sick.
1-0 over the Leafs. Love it.
Yeah, it's a long series. Long series.
Also,
first
the Rangers
game one
are choke
victory
artists.
since 1997. Just crazy.
Really?
Yeah. It's 1996. They won a game in the second round.
In any series?
Yeah. Florida Panthers have won a game in the second round. Sorry, game one. They won a game in the second round for the first time since 96.
Oh, shit. That's pretty crazy too.
Yeah, and they've won. 97 for the game one. Crazy.
Titletown. Who know? Like, wouldn't that be perfect if Max says he's Titletown and Hank's like, no, I'm Titletown, and then Jake just sneaks in and becomes Titletown out of nowhere
awesome.
without even like.
I mean, the way we're talking about it on the show, the Sixers Celtics series might as well be the NBA Finals.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Good point, Jake.
It's ours. It's our
Jake,
NBA Finals.
You also said you're going to have all the popcorn.
Kettle corn.
You contributed to the hype around that series, though. I just want to let you know.
You're absolutely correct.
Did you eat a bag last night?
Yeah, you can see the picture.
No, I missed it. I
took a
can't.
selfie.
Twitter is just I don't know what I get tweets from like 70 days ago. There's
Jake,
nothing I can do about it.
Did you eat the full bag? Because you distinctly said that your prediction for this series was all of the popcorn.
Kettle corn. Yeah.
Did you eat the whole bag?
Yes.
That seems.
Are you
suspect.
lying?
No. Yes, a little bit.
Yeah.
I ate like.
I'm not mad,
85%
Jake.
of it.
I'm just disappointed.
I ate 85%.
Yeah, because it's kettle corn. You couldn't finish it. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's kick it to ourselves. Back in studio for everything we got going on. Okay, before we get back to ourselves in studio, quick word from our friends at Sport Clips. It can be stressful to describe the kind of haircut you want, and even if you feel like you got it across, it's hard to know if your stylist really understands you. Too often, hair care results in a hair scare. Fortunately, the stylists at Sports Clips haircut speak the language of hair. You could say that they're fluent in fades, literate in long locks, and just all-around clippers, confident. It doesn't matter if your hair is balding or billowing. Sport Clips stylists are black belts in cutting men's hair. They've been especially trained to do it. These pros are artists. You are the canvas, and each of your hair follicles is the happiest of trees. So sit back and relax. It's MVP haircut experience time. That means a 7 pressure point massaging shampoo, a perfectly steamed hot towel, and the freedom to not have to stress about a bad cut. Next time you need a cut, come to Sport Clips and get a head-turning haircut from the pros in men's hair. Sport Clips is for guys, and you will get the best haircut of your life. You can also wait online, so you don't have to wait online. Yeah, that's right. You can wait online, and then you don't have to stand there waiting for a haircut. You show up, get a great haircut from the pros at Sport Clips. We're also brought to you by our friends at LifeLock. There's no sign of identity theft slowing down, and why should it? More than $14 billion were stolen from identity theft victims last year alone. Your personal info is in more places now than ever, and all that exposure can make it dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself by monitoring your identity and alerting you to threats you could miss on your own. If you become a victim of identity theft, a U.S.-based LifeLock restoration specialist will be dedicated to your case and work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Save up to 25% off your first year by going to LifeLock.com/PMT. That's LifeLock.com/PMT for 25% off. One more time. 25% off your first year by going to LifeLock.com/PMT, LifeLock.com/PMT for 25% off. Make sure you are protecting your identity online with LifeLock, LifeLock.com/PMT for 25% off. Okay, let's do what everyone is probably listening for. The NBA schedule is a little weird. Monday night had Sixers Celtics. I was wishing so badly we had a podcast directly after that game. Mm-hmm. Good news is next week we will have podcasts directly after those games. So the Philadelphia 76ers are up 1-0. So much for the sweep, like consternation that Max had just been walking around. I don't know, sweep, call it no sweep. You're good. Sixers up 1-0. No Joel Embiid. James Harden with an maybe his best playoff performance, 45 points. B-ball Paul with some big free throws. I guess to the victor go the spoils. Max should get to chime in first, right?
Yeah, Max, what was your favorite part about beating the Celtics last night?
No, last night was nice to win one,
Yeah.
as Kevin Malone would say. James Harden was a player that I've always wanted to see since he's been on the Sixers, and he really came through. That step back three was I really blacked out. I kind of lost all control of my mind and just let my body just kind of freak out. It was sad sitting next to my good friend Hank.
You didn't seem sad.
No, there was these pictures.
Yeah, you're getting your your butthole fingered.
Yeah, and I actually got banned from TikTok because it was sexual
so much sex. I was just oozing sex
from Max's butthole.
It was the most disgusting video ever taken of me, and I couldn't have cared less. That's how happy I was to see that shot go down.
That sounds like it was an awesome time for you, Max.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun.
Now, Max, I would also like to say congrats on beating the Celtics and advancing to the Eastern
No.
Conference Final.
I mean,
you won without Embiid.
we won without Embiid.
You get
and
Embiid back.
Series over.
This is a sweep.
Yeah.
Can you see? I was going to get to this. I will not apologize.
No one's asking you to apologize.
No.
We're asking you to show more faith.
Yeah, we're asking you to accept the victor of this series.
No,
The destiny.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Hank should just shave right now.
I will not apologize.
You just said it's nice to win one, like Kevin Malone. You got
It
this.
was nice. I won a game. I
Yes.
won a big. I mean, that was a very
This
emotional.
bro thinks he's on the team.
Yeah, you're not. You're not getting no wind this series.
No, we're not. I'm not getting swept, and I mean that dictated the series.
Yeah.
If winning that game without Embiid on the road, kind of sets it up for okay, this is going to be a battle. Because if you lose that, if you get smoked last night, then all of it's lost. Sweeps in play. Harden probably, if he doesn't play a good game, it's like all right, here we go again. It's the Celtics Sixers once again. But now there's a different feeling in the air. And you know, I'm thinking it's like
It's hard to get words out. Yep.
it's just I'm ready for like a battle rather than if we got smoked last night, I would have just been down in the dumps. It's
Yeah.
like same old Sixers Celtics.
Billy, what do you want to say?
For those at home, what's the implications of this to the Soul Patch bet?
It means
What's
that
still possible?
It means that Max,
Hank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hank. The sweep is still on the table for Hank, where he'd have to have the soul patch for 2 non-consecutive months.
Yeah.
Or
Max is-
4-1. 4-1 is also in play for Hank.
That's
Yes,
true because
that's
he agreed
true.
to the updated terms. So Hank doesn't have that many games to play with right now. Max, I knew the game was over. 1, because I know ball, but 2, because James Harden wore the clutch jeans on his entrance to the stadium.
He did.
He's bringing Jinkos back. It's been a long time. We've been squatting on that take. Jinkos are a look that needs to come back in the 2020s. Max, would you like to see him wear the Jinkos again, or is this one time it worked? Let's move on to the next thing.
No, I just want to see him come out with the craziest outfits for every game.
Yeah. Focus on the outfits.
I did say that was another thing that Big Cat and I were arguing before the game. Is
Well,
that
you said prime James Harden. I said prime James Harden. You don't want prime James Harden. You want the James Harden you've never seen before.
No, prime James Harden is still like you can still be in your prime in the regular season. Like I'm talking about, like he was coming out and playing the best James Harden game that James Harden could
You
play.
wanted Michael Jordan Harden.
Yeah, and then you said Michael Jordan Harden.
Yeah, and you got him.
Yeah,
You got him.
There's prime James Harden, then there's prime rib James Harden.
Yeah.
And you wanted the latter.
I also think that, like, just watching the game, I think B-Ball Paul might have, like, either done something at one of James Harden's favorite strip clubs or something, because he was icing him out to start the game. Just no passing. But B-Ball Paul, what a game.
I mean, and then you kept saying that, and then when the game was on the line, who did James Harden go
Free
to?
throws.
Who
Yeah.
did James Harden go to?
Yeah, he did. He trusted him.
I'd like to award, these were all great performances from all these players, no doubt about it. My personal MVP for this game is PJ Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
PJ Tucker had 37 minutes, 0 field goals attempted, 0 free throws attempted. That's the most ever in terms of minutes for no shots attempted at all during the course of the game. But he sets the best fucking screens.
Yeah.
He's so good at setting picks. His body was like designed in the lab to give James Harden just 2 feet of separation to
He's
hit
a
a three.
dog. And
He's a dog. He's so
he
wide.
touched a penis.
And he touched a penis too.
Which we have a penis touching problem in the NBA. PJ Tucker By the way, the Philadelphia 76ers are 17-6 this year when he scores 0 points.
Yeah.
So that's the recipe.
He knows his role.
The recipe to success is make sure PJ Tucker doesn't score.
But he's on the court the entire time.
Yeah,
And
he is. He's very vital.
He is really, really good at setting screens. He had maybe the best screen game that I've ever seen at the NBA level last night.
Yeah.
And he freaked out at Paul Reed during a timeout one time and was staring daggers into his soul.
What did he say?
I won't say exactly what he said.
Okay. So Hank, let's go to your side. Congrats again, Max, on winning this series.
Won a game.
Okay.
Thank you for the game.
Yeah. I actually think the Sixers should sit Embiid and Harden next game.
They're going to lose by 20 next game regardless.
Harden's all I said, like that. Watching Harden play, like he was fantastic because he has a history of not showing up in the big moments. That was a true James Harden willed that team to victory, 45 points. All I was saying after Max can attest to this, when we were walking out of the gambling cave, I was like, James Harden's got to be so tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just going to be so tired for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we kick it to Hank, because I know we want to get his thoughts, I just sidebar Big Cat.
Yeah.
Hank's got his phone out. I think he has a statement that's prepared.
Oh.
So just an FYI.
Oh, okay.
It looked like you were getting ready to.
I mean, again, like I'm right here. You could just let me speak and find out if I did or not, and you would
Okay.
find out I didn't. But
Okay.
Well, you were looking
Great.
at your phone like you were.
Great.
no, I mean I just have some stats,
All right, go
Okay,
ahead. Go
yeah,
with your
yeah.
stats.
and then I have.
Stat off.
Give us the stats.
I mean, again, I can't even speak for like one sentence without getting
stat me
interrupted.
up.
I would
Go
like
ahead.
to. I have some thoughts. Celtics they shot 59% from the field, 40% from three, 94% from the line, lost.
Yep.
That's upsetting.
Yes.
I went home, I was mad, and then the post-game press conference, Missoula, coach, first-year coach, basically came out and said, yeah, that's on me. I didn't call up any good plays. I didn't put us in a good position to win, which it's not the regular season. Like you gotta coach. You gotta be confident and like have some plays in the playoffs. Like coming out and saying that in the regular season is one thing. Coming out in the playoffs and being like, yeah, shitty job by me as the coach. Like that was upsetting to hear. And it made me wonder, and this might have been I was just mad and it was like 1 a.m. I couldn't sleep. Brad Stevens, like Missoula said, he had no play calls. He had bad play calls, didn't do a good job. Brad Stevens, for all intents and purposes, one of the best X's and O's guys ever. When he was coaching, he was probably top of the league. He's still in the organization. Why don't they just put him on the bench and just have him call the plays at the end of the game? I don't know.
It's like a Pat Riley situation.
Yeah,
when he
like
took
why
over?
you have you have a coach like that came out and admitted he was not prepared in that type of situation to call plays that they needed to call to win the game, put the guys in the position to win.
Yeah. So what was he doing?
I don't know. He called the play for Marcus Smart at the end of the game. You have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown took 3 shots after like the first quarter or something.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I think their last points were with like 11 minutes left, or maybe not. But it felt like they were like only shot a couple times down the stretch.
It was the same as Game 5 of the Hawks series where they weren't up 20. They were up, maybe 6, 7, 8 with 4 or 5 minutes left. And every offensive possession, it looked like they were just killing clock. They were playing the let's run the clock out. But there was plenty of time and plenty of possessions for the Sixers to get back into it, which they did. But I spent a lot of time last night not sleeping and just wondering what can Brad Stevens do to help this team as a coach? Because seeing those quotes from Missoula was just like it was borderline infuriating.
He needs to go. He needs to get choked out again.
Yeah.
In the day off. He needs to work on his throat game.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu. So Jason Tatum, I just looked up, his last field goal was 11 minutes left. Do you think – so Marcus Smart, I don't understand the drawing up play for Marcus Smart because he's maybe your 5th best offensive option, right? Would you say? Like you'd rather have Tatum, Brown, Brogdon,
Horford,
White, Derek White, so 6th, yeah, best option to take a shot there. Do you think Tatum doesn't have enough dog in him?
No. I do think he has all the dog in him.
Why didn't he take over that game?
He's like 24 years old.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like he is an exceptional. He's going to be first team All NBA. He's an exceptional player. It feels like that last thing is that killer instinct of like, this is my game. I'm taking over. I'm the best. He is the best player on that court.
The problem was, like I said, it was the end of the game. They Brown did it too. It was passive. They were playing super passively.
That would be what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But that might have been a coaching strategy. Like, I don't know. They play the same way they did it at Atlanta Game 5. Hopefully, going forward, when they get leads, they'll just. It's like they changed their game plan.
Jimmy Butler's heart in Jason Tatum's body is the best player in the NBA.
I was about to say, let's have a dog off real quick.
Jimmy Butler is not as good as Jason Tatum. You're taking Jason Tatum.
What did I just say?
Listen.
I said Jimmy Butler's heart in Jason Tatum's body.
Jason Tatum.
What happened at the end of that Heat
Jason
game?
Tatum is a fucking
when they
monster.
tried to draw up a play
Yes.
that was not going to Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler said to his coach,
"No, it's me.
No, I'm a dog.
I'm a dog."
They need to have a dog transplant.
I don't think so. I think that's
think
an
Jason Tatum
overreaction.
has
Skip Bayless.
No, I'm just
Skip Bayless.
I'm simply asking questions. I'm not even making a take. I asked, do you think Jason Tatum has enough dog in him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might disagree with that.
He's been
One
to like
field goal
3
made-
Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
In the finals, he's 24
no,
years
you're sounding
old.
like Max right now.
No, I'm just saying,
That's
like,
loser talk.
when did MJ get his first championship? How old was he?
He was probably in his late 20s.
So did he not have that dog in him?
He played in college. He won a championship. Actually, no, he was 18 because he won a championship in college.
That
And he hit the
doesn't
game-winning shot.
count. Okay,
But
That would be dog.
Jason Tatum went. Where did
That
he go
would
to
be
college
dog.
again?
He went to Duke.
So he must have won a championship.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
I think they lost to South Carolina in the second round that year.
that's a double dagger.
Oh, brutal.
Double
and-
check 2017.
That has
tournament.
we're talking about the
Frank
NBA.
Martin.
That has nothing
Yeah.
to do with anything.
I think what we can definitely say is Marcus Smart has more of a dog in him than Jason Tatum does.
No, Marcus Smart has like a unleashed pit bull in him.
Yeah,
that again
yes,
is like.
yes.
But
Dog.
Jason Tatum is a better dog. You guys are. You
So
know,
Jason,
I was asking-
Jason Tatum's a
trying to
golden
cause
retriever.
controversy,
No,
just trolling.
the
It
fact
is
that
what it
you're
is.
the fact that you're so like listen, I was asking a simple question.
and I answered.
Got the dog.
You didn't
He's got
really,
enough
you didn't
dog.
really
Yes.
answer. You answered by accusing us of being.
No,
Skip
I
Bayless.
said
saying
yes.
Jimmy Butler's better than Jason Tatum. Yeah. Or Jason Tatum better than Jimmy Butler. Okay. But
Wait.
does he have the dog?
Had they played head to head recently in the playoffs?
This season, no.
What about last year?
That's this year.
I didn't. What about last year?
I mean, yeah.
Who won?
The Celtics.
So that was Jason. I'm just asking
Last
a
year,
question.
yeah.
Don't listen.
I believe, if I remember correctly, it was the end of the game. I think it was Jimmy Butler was guarding Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was 1-on-1, had a step back jumper in his face to ice the game in game
Good.
7.
That's dog.
Listen,
Jason Tatum, like that was a game though, where it's like, where's Jason Tatum in this fourth quarter?
it's also totally valid to be like, you guys are being prisoners of the moment right now.
Of
Because,
course.
duh. Yeah, obviously, because that's what we are. We're dumb.
Yeah.
And so we saw that game.
I think the
and so-
Celtics are going to kill them tonight.
So now everything that we saw from
do.
that game last night means the world to us right now until the next game happens where we'll overreact the other way.
I also think I hope Embiid comes back.
You think they're worse with Embiid?
I think that Embiid coming back at not 100% will discombobulate them. I think it helps. I think similar thing with Murray was out for the Hawks. Trae Young, it's like he knows he has to be the guy. He knows everything's
I agree
going
with
through
that.
him. He has 100% confidence. There's no, last shot, only one ball. It happens to the Celtics sometimes too. Jason Brown and Jalen Tatum. That is a confirmed thing that happens where it gets weird when
You don't know who's the alpha?
but if Jalen Brown has 35 points and Jason Tatum only has 20, like you probably should be running it through him, but it gets weird at the end of games. I think if Embiid comes back, it's going to discombobulate them enough for the Celtics to win.
So, Max, what's your take on that? Are the Sixers better off without Joel Embiid?
They're 15-6 this year without Joel.
They also
Very
had a million.
interesting
The fact
stat.
they didn't win that game last night was disgusting. They had 100 layups. The Sixers didn't play defense.
No, the
Celtics-
first
Celtics-
half was a layup line.
The Celtics is not like they are a worse team than last year, and the only difference is the coach.
The Celtics didn't play bad last night.
They did not play good
No,
defense.
Hank had insult stats to himself.
Yeah,
They did not play good
the
defense.
Sixers just
They
played better.
bad defense.
And
Also,
James Harden was the best player on the court.
we should mention Tyrese Maxey was awesome. That I know that Brogdon threw him the ball, which was like crazy, but that was a shot clock violation. Like they were playing great defense there, and that was kind of the game right there.
Maxey stole the ball. It was
Yeah.
a great call.
Yeah, it was. Was it Kevin Harlan?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Epic.
Maxey does take a lot of shots, a lot of threes off the dribble, where it seems like his momentum just carries him as he's shooting, and he misses back iron a lot when
He's
when he's coming around the edge.
He's also always smiling.
Yeah.
He always has like an inside joke in his head.
Yeah.
I kind of like that out of a player. So, Hank, how are you feeling for Wednesday night? We will be in Florida, so we won't be streaming. We'll be doing social clips. I do think the Celtics are gonna kill them because I think there's just a natural let down. You won one in Boston. You didn't need Embiid. It's the Celtics now have to like give their best effort. It feels like a Celtics blowout.
I alluded to this on Sunday, but the Bruins losing has really ruined my entire just vibe. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel I am. We're down in the series. Let's just tie it up, and then we'll go game 3, and then we'll go game 4.
You actually
Anything can happen.
you actually like you took the Bruins loss harder than I thought because someone was like, why didn't I wanted you to make him cry? I was like, no, you can't make Hank cry about the Bruins. You got to wait for the Celtics, then he'll cry.
Yeah, it's more, Boston and the city as a whole and just being the best team in NHL history and losing in the first round is something that's never going to go away, and that sucks. And that being probably the last season of Bergeron, like Bergeron, again, I'm not a diehard Bruins fan, but I am in the playoffs. Every playoffs the last 20 years, Bergeron's been the guy. Chara was the guy. They're both gone. It's like, fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they lost in the first round in a Game 7 when they were up 3-1.
And also, your Bruins, the loss around them had to do with the fact that you also see that loss as just being, oh shit, now I only have the Celtics.
Right.
That's all that's left.
Right.
But maybe
Yeah,
it's
It's
like,
going to be watching the Bruins tonight.
We should be. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's just sad. It's sad in the group chats. My group chats are mostly hockey fans and less basketball fans, so it's like things have gotten dark and sad.
so let's play, whose line is it anyway? Game 2, 8 p.m., Celtics Sixers. Celtics at home again.
I want to say Celtics minus. Well, we don't know if Embiid's playing again. I'd say 10 again.
9.5.
9.5. Yeah.
Would you say it's must win?
Yeah.
Go
No.
ahead, Hank. No.
You go down to 0-2.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Max just got a win off you
Well,
right there.
Hank just pointed out to me last night that you guys have lost, what, 3 straight home games?
I think it's 4.
4 straight home games.
I want to say what
Bad
no,
Sports
3,
Town?
'cause you only lost 2 against the
Hawks, but the Bruins lost.
Okay.
Bruins lost. Celtics.
Oh, I didn't know
Cross
you.
sport.
When you said that to me, I thought you were talking about the Celtics. I didn't know you were doing cross sport.
Yeah.
No, the Garden, the TD Garden is cursed. That's not.
0-4, yeah. It's not good.
No.
What are you going to say, Max?
saying that Joel Embiid not playing is better for the Celtics is absolutely insane when you saw the amount of wide open layups that
That
the
is true.
Celtics
It
got
was-
No,
last
we
night.
always
It was a
win
because
layup.
there is
We always beat the
nobody
Sixers
in the
when
paint.
Embiid plays.
It
so.
was a layup line.
But
James Harden not a rim protector.
you shot 90% in the first half because there was nobody at the rim and you still lost. Like that.
Fact or fiction, we usually win when Embiid plays.
That doesn't mean anything. This is a
Yeah.
different
He asked you fact or
Sixers
fiction.
team.
You have to answer fact or fiction.
Okay. Fact. They
Okay,
usually
case
win.
closed. Case closed.
But this is a different team, which was shown last night.
Okay,
Because
so
Embiid wasn't playing.
So you want Embiid.
I want Embiid.
Yeah.
You guys both want Embiid.
you guys both want to be equally as bad.
Someone's very wrong right now.
Yeah, this would be great.
Someone's going to look like an
It
idiot.
really
no
is
matter what.
everything I've ever wanted in a series where I have nothing to like. I have no rooting interest. I was saying it to PFT earlier, like whoever loses, we can just make fun of, and then if it flips the next game, we just go and make
Yeah.
fun of that person.
I think it's going to be a great series. Like, I don't like the Celtics are
And you're
very
so good at losing, but in different ways. Like
Yes, yes.
I love smarmy, pissed off Hank right now, where like he's throwing everything back in our faces and he's just being a sourpuss. But then I also love when Max loses because he ties himself up into a little red knot.
Yeah, and he
then
just talks to himself.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just, everything's fine. It's
Everything's fine. No, well, yeah. Obviously, I wish that we had better cleats.
No.
We didn't get no hit. All right. Other game. Stop me if you heard this before, but Chris Paul got hurt.
Yeah, it's tough. Bad night to be a groin.
Yeah, I watched. So I watched the whole game. Like the Jokic is just so fucking good. He is so good. He is a cheat code for like anytime they need anything to happen, whether it be him passing, pick and roll, or just scoring in the post. Like he is a cheat code for we need a basket right now. Denver though, their defense was awesome in the fourth quarter. They basically stepped it up, and I don't think the Suns scored for like 5 minutes to start the fourth quarter. The Suns just don't have enough guys.
Yeah, Ayton can't stop Jokic. And when they try to when they put just Ayton on him, he can get around him in so many different ways. And I feel like Jokic has taken over. You remember Dirk Nowitzki used to score the most unathletic-looking baskets of all time?
Yeah.
Like he'd be falling down. He'd always end up on the floor with a weird look on his face. Jokic makes all sorts of uncoordinated shots. They look super uncoordinated when he does it, but it takes a tremendous amount of athleticism to pull off these moves because he's a fucking giant.
He doesn't really jump when he's shooting.
Yeah,
like if he's shooting close, he won't jump, and it will. And his touch is so good where it's just you get it on the rim, it will roll in. The Nuggets are just they're so much better than the Suns, and I know that again, this could all turn because it's playoff basketball, recency bias, everything, but. Just watching the game and watching the Suns, they have to basically have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker both have like career nights,
which they could do.
They could.
I think that they'll get
Absolutely.
a couple. I'm staying my prediction. Nugs in 6.
Yeah,
I think that KD and Booker are going to have a couple of those games where they just go nuclear on everybody.
I think it's Nugs in 5.
It might be Nugs in 5.
They don't. Just watching the game, like the Nuggets have so many more answers, and the Suns just they can't. They have to play perfect, and they haven't played even close to perfect. They were even leading this game for the majority of the game. And then Chris Paul, again, like we said. I mean, I do kind of feel bad because you want to see guys play, but it's also like this is his age. This is his history.
Yeah, you see Russillo's he's starting to step off the Chris Paul bandwagon. But he's doing it in a very smart way, being like, you know what, if the Nuggets win this series, it just means that people that don't pay attention to basketball as much as I do will finally start to realize how great Jokic is at the sport. So it's like he's turning this into a win for the game of basketball by having Chris Paul losing the series. So credit to Ryan. Ryan's learned how to, after all these years of depending on Chris Paul, he's finally learned how to spin zone a little bit off of a take.
Yeah. And he keeps saying, he also is like, well, when he was good.
Yeah.
He knows.
They wasted his prime.
Yeah, he knows it's over.
I do think, Hank, you might be able to help out on this, given your deep ties to Taco Bell. I think that Taco Bell should bring back the quesarito if Jokic wins the chip.
Agreed.
Can we agree on that? It was an elite menu item. And the old story about him getting drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, the big quesarito Jokic, I would like to see that menu item come back. Can we make that happen, Hank?
We'll see what I can do.
Make some calls,
Make
please.
a call.
I learned something else fun about Jokic last night. Did you know that he's obsessed with horses and he used to be a jockey?
That's the funniest jockey
Aren't jockeys
ever.
supposed to be short?
Yeah, no, they are. Not supposed to be. They are.
Yes. Yeah, he used to be a jockey, which that poor horse. But then he had to stop being a jockey because obviously he's a giant. But that horse must have been just sick of his life having Jokic try to ride him. But then when you switch up to a real jockey after Jokic, it's like a lead batting donut.
Yeah.
Where you're like, this is easy.
Yeah, this is I can go a million miles an hour. The Nuggets have impressed me greatly. They're fucking really, really good, and Jokic is just so much fun to watch. Okay.
The NBA playoffs in general have been awesome.
Yeah.
It's been so much fun. And there was a stat, they did the ratings for the Warriors-Kings Game 7. It was the most watched first or second round game in 22 years.
Jeez.
More people watched that game than watched 5 out of 6 games in last year's finals.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the Warriors-Lakers is going to be a
I think that's going to break. Yeah.
That's going to this record's going to last for one day.
This is probably
2
the
days.
best second round series in basketball history.
Yeah.
Like storylines,
I'd say best second round all across the board.
4 series, yeah.
Okay, let's do Hot Seat Cool Throne. Then we got Keith Yandle on the show. Awesome guest. Talking some hockey with him. Hot Seat Cool Throne is brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. Sometimes the days can get so crazy that you forget to make time for fun. When that happens, you got to choose to chill. So go ahead, say yes to midweek happy hours and catching the game after work. And while you're at it, enjoy an ice-cold Coors Light, the beer that's made to chill. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and that's Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. That way you always know it's time to chill. When you're making time to chill, crack open a Coors Light. It's a mountain cold refreshment made to chill. When you choose to chill, pair your plans with an ice-cold Coors Light. I'm going to chill tonight. I'm going to have a Coors Light, watch some basketball and some hockey. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. CoorsLight.com/take. The coldest, best beer in the world. Send us those Blue Mountains on the weekends. I want to see them. I'll retweet them. CoorsLight.com/take. Thank you to Coors Light, the greatest beer ever. Hank, Hot Seat Cool Throne.
My hot seat is television.
I thought it was going to be you.
Hank, I had TV on the hot seat too.
It was my cool throne.
Oh, embrace debate.
So the TV Writers Guild Union of America, I believe it's called, are going on strike. They want a 2% raise, and they're not being given it, so they're going to go on strike. I learned today, I read a few articles, about what, because this happened in 2007.
Yeah,
and
how
they
many
went on
articles
strike.
did you read today?
I read one article and some tweets, but it was talking about the other shows that were affected in movies that were affected in 2007. Heroes, I don't know if you guys remember that show on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
One of my favorite shows of all time. First season's unbelievable. And the reason season 2 sucked is because it got written during the writer's strike, and so it wasn't the real writers that wrote it. And that made so much sense for so long. I was like, what? How did this show fall? Like, this show sucked after season 1. Season 1's unbelievable.
I think the same thing happened with Friday Night Lights, right?
Friday Night Lights.
Season 2, when Landry killed a guy. Spoiler.
Office season 4 was shorter.
Lost. That all fell apart, I guess, during the writer's strike. James Bond movie. Basically, Daniel Craig. They have people that rewrite and write work on the script on set and touch it up and make it good. They had a rough draft of a script before the writer's strike, and then they had to go shoot it with no writers there, and Daniel Craig had to be like the writer. So he basically wrote the movie and it sucked, and then afterwards he was like, yeah, well, I had to fucking write it. Like,
Right.
That's why it sucked.
It kept Hank Schrader.
Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Solace, yeah.
Solace.
It kept Hank Schrader alive in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's true. Also, the script writers for the NFL that year, that's when they might have turned in their best storyline, though, because that was the 16-0 Patriots that ended up losing in the final game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They went off on that one. Those scabs were good. TV's about to suck soon. When is that going to be? In like a year?
I don't want to see you down this bad.
The thing is crazy is like, you're right that the hockey has stuck with me more than even I thought it would. Even watching other hockey, like, I don't.
You just can't. The flowers don't smell as sweet.
No, and I again will watch any playoff hockey game. I love playoff hockey. I don't really care about the regular season. But last night I was watching these games, being like, this is kind of miserable.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
sad.
I'm sorry you're
for
going
us.
through this.
I agree with Hank. It is tough being a Boston sports fan.
Yeah, people like, it's been over 1,000 days since we won a championship, and people are like, oh,
What?
God
Yeah.
damn. How long has it been since you had a parade?
over 1,000 days. Like 2019.
Oh my God, that's forever ago.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
Basically
damn.
a new world.
COVID ruined Boston sports.
Some people are saying.
Your cool throne.
My cool throne is shorts.
Oh, nice, nice. They're back.
We're going
Throwback shorts.
We're going to Miami this week. It's gonna be hot. Gonna pack some shorts, maybe some rowback shorts. Shorts are back. It's that time of year.
I'm
That's
not
all
gonna
I
eat
pack.
dinner tonight.
My backpack is just filled with shorts right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat dinner. I'm worried. It's gonna be so hot. All right, your hot seat cool throne.
So my hot seat was going to be television for that same reason. So I'll put fashion on the hot seat.
Oh yeah.
The Met Gala was last night. And again, we have no idea what happens inside the Met Gala.
Nope.
The best that we can figure out is that they do a lot of drugs, and then they look at pictures that were taken of them walking into the Met Gala. Mm-hmm. And then they talk about their pictures and themselves. And they check out. There's a lot of Instagram happening inside the Met Gala.
I asked this on the stream last night, PFT. Do you think that there was one single person in the Met Gala that had the Rangers game or Celtics Sixers game on their phone watching?
Yeah, I think Jared Leto. I think he's a massive.
He had it in
massive
that cat
puff boy.
suit?
He had it on the front of where his eyes would be. He was just watching that and walking around.
Yeah.
Probably Pete Davidson. He's a big New York sports guy.
Yeah.
Oh, is he
Oh
there?
yeah.
Is he though?
Was he there?
I think he was.
Is he a sports guy or does he just go to sports games?
Oh wow.
Casual.
Calling him out.
That's a genuine question.
That's
don't know.
most New York sports
don't know.
guys.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Not you though, Billy.
No, like I only like going to the Knicks games and then when they go to the playoffs because
Yeah.
it sucks every other time.
And then you don't even like Yankees games anymore because it's too short.
Well, I still go.
The Met Gala is just a great reminder of how old you get every single year. Like I think I was batting about 10% of celebrities that I
Oh, yeah.
recognized on the timeline.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this woman is in episode 3 of this new cable TV show that I have never heard of.
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney though.
Giselle looked great though, didn't she? She was wearing like a bird outfit. She was a bird. Jared
Sure.
Leto probably tried to kill her and eat her.
Respectfully, she did.
She
Yeah.
looked great.
And a cockroach broke in.
Here he comes. He's hungry. Get a photo. Get a photo. Kevin, get a photo. Kevin, get a photo. Yeah. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. I was like, what is that?
I thought that was Pete Davidson.
Yeah. Cockroach.
My cool throne, Hank, you like this? Bouncing back. Cool throne, Bill Belichick.
Ooh.
Belichick's on the cool throne. He's at it again, up to his old tricks. I don't know if you've seen the fallout from the draft. and what people speculate that the Patriots did in the first round. So they
drafted.
They did draft, but they had, I think, the 14th pick.
Correct.
And they traded it to the Steelers. They were picking right in front of the Jets. The Patriots traded that draft pick to the Steelers because they knew that the Jets wanted to take Broderick Jones out of Georgia, the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
They knew that they wanted to take him to protect probably Zach Wilson in a couple of years, right, Billy? But they knew that their offensive line needed to get better. The Patriots knew that the Jets wanted him. They traded it to the Steelers so they could take Broderick Jones because the Patriots then had like 3 cornerbacks that they loved that were still available, knowing that at 17 they'd be able to pick whatever guy that they wanted. They even got less than they should have gotten from the Steelers because they wanted to move that pick so badly. They should have gotten like a 3rd-round pick or a 3rd-round pick this year and then another pick in a later year. Instead, all they got from the Steelers was a 4th-round pick, specifically so they could fuck the New York Jets.
That's
Look
brilliant.
At you.
That's brilliant.
Belichick's back.
Yeah.
Belichick is all the way back. By the way, speaking of trading up and down, I saw a stat. I got to try to find it. Do you know that the Saints, I think it was the last 20 years.
It's like they've traded.
They've never traded
down
back.
32 times or
They've
something.
always traded up. They've literally never traded back.
That doesn't seem possible.
It broke my brain. I was like, wait, but where did all the picks go?
Yeah.
Like, you just always trade up.
You trade up, and then you make the guy feel better because you can tell him we traded up to get you.
Right.
Give
Right.
a little boost
never,
to the ego.
Never, ever. Mickey Loomis. He's just always trading up. Never, ever, ever trading back.
I also love that Belichick did that move and sent a great offensive lineman to a rival AFC team because that's how much he hates the Jets.
Yeah. Here's the stat. Dating back to 2007, the Saints have traded up 24 times without ever trading down. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. All right. My hot seat is Dillon Brooks. So, free agent Dillon Brooks. The Grizzlies released a statement saying they have informed pending free agent Dillon Brooks that he will not be brought back under any circumstances. That feels extra.
The under any circumstances was like any circumstances?
Any circumstance.
Any
the whole
circumstances?
team decides to retire.
Ja Morant shoots all of his teammates.
Any circumstances.
I would never say never. You know what? I'm hoping for some like nightmare scenario where they have to bring Dillon Brooks back.
That's a crazy statement. Under any circumstance, I mean, no one's really had. I really do think he might have played himself out of the NBA.
He talked himself.
Himself out of the NBA. Well, and also the lack of play.
Yeah,
out of the NBA. But holy shit! Under any circumstances,
I have a question for you, Big Cat.
Yeah,
he's Canadian, right?
I believe
Dillon
so.
Brooks. Is he the biggest asshole Canadian of all time? Because there's not a lot to choose from.
Yeah, he's from Canada.
Pretty much you have, I guess you could say Don Cherry is an asshole.
Yeah.
The geese are assholes.
I'm trying to think.
I'm going to go Canada geese, number 1.
Canada geese, easy number 1. Easy number 1.
And then I'm going to go Dillon Brooks, number 2.
Yeah.
Biggest assholes from Canada.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be. Canadians are always nice.
Yep.
I just looked up top 10 Canadians. Avril Lavigne, Nickelback, William Shatner, Robin Thicke, Sinead Grimes, Justin Bieber, Rob Ford. I mean, Justin Bieber, I get Justin Bieber for a moment.
You say Rob Ford's on that list? That's disgusting.
No, top 10 Canadians.
Top 10, like best Canadians.
Just the best.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. Justin Bieber for that little spell.
Yeah.
Where he was being a dick.
He was like pissing in plants and restaurants.
But he also Justin Bieber is a classic case of the kid was fucking famous when he was like 14 years old. I actually think he's adjusted pretty well.
Yeah, we're actually the assholes in
right,
this situation.
Right. My cool throne was going to be the Met Gala, so I will pass. My cool throne shorts.
Nice.
Shorts. Shorts are back.
I love shorts so
Rowback.com.
much.
Go get some shorts. Shorts. Billy.
My hot seat is Antonio Brown. So he owned an AFL team, the Albany Empire, and he had 95% ownership. And since he owned it, none of the players or coaches have been paid.
He's definitely just forgot
that
he owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
is that a real team?
Albany what?
Albany Empire.
The Albany Empire.
I don't know why he just doesn't pay all of them and uses a tax write-off.
Is that how it works?
I think that's why most people own teams, right?
Because you get paid.
Team owners?
No, you own teams because you make a fuckload of money because
Yeah.
you get to sell jerseys and you get to sell tickets.
Well,
to
no,
your
and you're
games.
missing the big one. You get to sell the team.
Yeah, later you get to sell the team
for
even if
$5 billion.
Even if you run it into the ground and
Yeah.
take a leak all over its ashes, then you get like 700% what you paid for it.
Yeah. Okay, so Antonio Brown, if you're listening to this right now and noted AWL, please remember to open your mail.
And also come on the podcast.
Yeah.
In person.
My cool throne is Black Mirror. Not only it's coming back, but if you guys watch the episode Metalhead, that's actually happening in real life.
Which one's that?
The one where they have the Boston Dynamics dog chasing people, because they just put ChatGPT AI into a Boston Dynamics robot.
ChatGPT?
GPT.
GPT?
Yes.
Chat 3Chi PT.
ChatGPT.
Billy's
Anyway,
ongoing battle against.
they gave Boston Dynamics robots brains, and now they can do whatever they want and think for themselves. Damn. They gave them AI.
I still think we got less than a year left.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're done. We're cooked.
It's all gonna go south.
It's
I
been a
think
good
actually
run.
the writers' strike, like there's a clause in there about future AI scripts. They want to defend against.
There is, yeah, because that's coming too.
The
Yeah.
Boston Dynamics thing, and we've definitely talked about it on the show, and it's definitely a little bit sensationalist to me, but since Boston Dynamics has existed, every time they put out a video, everyone's like, this is a bad idea. This is a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
This is a bad
We've
idea.
been all over it.
This is a bad
And they
idea.
also will throw.
And they just keep going and getting better and better and better, and eventually they're going to kill us all and be like, that was a bad
That
idea.
was a bad idea. Yeah, they also they'll do like the random ones. Remember that dog that slipped
Yeah.
out a banana peel to
Yeah.
be like, hey, look, haha, a banana peel can take down a robot.
Well, did you see the NYPD one?
No.
Yeah.
They had an NYPD Boston Dynamics robot dog.
Yeah. Well, the good news is maybe Boston Dynamics is off. Like everyone expects them to just take over and run the table and everybody. Maybe Boston Dynamics will choke right now and they won't be able to take over and dominate, as is recent history.
He's down bad.
I'm just saying.
All right, your cool throne? That was your cool throne.
That was my cool
Hot seat, cool
so
throne.
down bad.
He's down bad. He's down. He needs the Celtics to win by like 50.
Not even.
Right in Max's face.
No, I'm not gonna be fingering buttholes after one win, but
But Hank, if you win by 1 point tonight, you're going to be happy?
yeah.
It's
One game
the
at a time.
reason why Hank is down so bad too is he's never in his brain even envisioned a scenario where the Sixers could win this series. That's a fact.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a fact. You have never even it's never even popped in your head randomly like, oh, what if this goes? You're like, Sixers dead.
I also don't really even care about the soul patch as much as like I just fucking hate Philly fans so much. They're so insufferable. I cannot let them have this over me.
And they will really have it over.
Oh,
you.
I mean, I like, you know,
You can't even read your DMs right now.
Yeah. Well, he can't read.
it's heinous.
Yes, yeah,
It's heinous.
Yeah.
It's heinous.
It's heinous.
It's-
Okay.
Instantaneous heinous.
Uh,
The second the
Jake.
game ends.
Jake.
My hot seat is being Tiger's caddy. He and his caddy, Joe LaCava, have split.
Oh,
he
no.
moved on to Patrick Cantlay. So but
That's
he's not
tough.
retiring. Tiger's not retiring, but
Well, yeah, I mean, he caddies twice a year. I would assume he's probably like,
Now he's
can
gonna
I,
have to
can I
caddy
work?
Charlie.
so much longer.
You know
He's
what?
just holding
Around.
over until he moves to Charlie. Hopefully.
Tiger
Our guy.
needs to bring back Fluff. You
Yeah.
remember Fluff? He's the best caddy of all time. He used to
yeah.
smoke cigarettes on the course, and he would use the smoke to determine which way the wind was blowing.
Yeah, this
That
does
dude rocked.
this does mean Tiger's basically done.
He said he's not retiring.
Yeah, but if
told
you say
our
you're
Dan
caddy, you're
Rappaport.
basically like, hey, caddy, I can't pay you because we're not gonna play.
Right.
Go caddy someone else.
Yeah, I mean, like having your caddy leave you to then be like, I'd rather spend my time working with Patrick Cantlay.
Oh, it's
that
prison.
if your wife left you and she's like, you know what, I'm gonna cheat on you with Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that would equate to.
Are you a cool throne?
My cool throne's football fans. So all of us. College football playoff announced today, 2024 and 2025. College football playoff semifinals will be played on Thursday and Friday of Super Wild Card Weekend.
Love that.
No,
One
no.
game
Love
Thursday.
that.
No.
One
No.
game Friday.
Thursday?
Super Wild Card.
Yes.
Saturday,
PT,
Sunday, Monday.
are you
It's
listening to what
5
he's saying?
straight days of playoff football.
Okay, okay, that's great. I love that. That's awesome. But
Starting in
but
2024,
a
not this
playoff game on a Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
That rules. 5 straight days of playoffs, and we still have the bowl games.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they're not going to be back to back anymore. It's going to have one game
That's
each
awesome,
day.
PFT. You're gonna when we get to that moment, Put a note in when PFT's
January 8th,
like
2024.
Yeah, when he's like,
Or
holy,
2025.
when he's like,
robots.
holy shit, this is the fucking best 5 days in a row. Be like, remember that time you said no?
Oh, no. What I'm talking about, like, for me, for us, this is going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. But a lot of people have to wake up and go to work on Friday. That sucks for them.
Yeah, but then there's a game on Friday night. That's awesome.
That is good.
Thursday night and Friday
games on
night.
Saturday.
There's
and games on Sunday. And
And
games
Monday.
on Monday.
And
lot-
they're all playoffs.
A lot of people are going to be upset about
No.
Thursday.
No, everyone
No,
loves it.
everyone
Everyone on
loves
Twitter loves it.
What about the championship?
Put the note
game?
in.
It's still Monday night. Yeah, I will.
Okay. Let's get to an awesome interview with Keith Yandle talking playoff hockey, his career, everything. Great, great dude. Before we do that, PFT's got a quick word from one of our sponsors.
We're going to get to Keith Yandle in a second, but before we do, he's brought to you by ZipRecruiter. When it comes to scoring great hires for your business, you might be up against some obstacles. Maybe there's lots of applicants, but difficulty finding the right ones for your job. Or you're finding time to hire while running your business. Plus, you're trying to ensure workplace safety. That's why you need ZipRecruiter on your team. No matter the industry, healthcare to manufacturing to business services, ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and it makes it easier. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/PMT. First, when you post a job on ZipRecruiter, it gets sent out to over 100 top job sites. Then ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology hustles for you to find people with the right experience for your job and invites them to apply. In fact, check out this stat. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the very first day. So add ZipRecruiter to your roster and help you win the hiring game. To try ZipRecruiter for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/PMT. That's ZipRecruiter.com/PMT, ZipRecruiter.com/PMT, ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. The interview with Keith Yandle is also brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook. I use the Barstool Sportsbook, put in some tasty, tasty little futures on there. Got the Leafs. It's the Leafs year. We're riding with the Maple Leafs. Let's go Toronto. Today's part of my take is brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook. The Barstool Sportsbook is now offering a $1,000 bonus for new players. If your first bet loses, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So download and create an account today. Use code TAKE to unlock your $1,000 bonus. Be sure to use that code TAKE. Want to make sure that you get your $1,000 bonus? Terms apply. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I've got it up on my phone right now. I'm looking at the lines. It looks like the Maple Leafs they've now become the favorites to win the Stanley Cup right now. That's scary. That's very scary to me. Check it out with the futures right now using the Barstool Sportsbook. I'm terrified that the Leafs are now the favorite, but it's good value. I got good value on them at plus 1,000. Terms apply. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Get that $1,000 bonus. And now, here's Keith Yandle.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. He's hockey's Iron Man. I think we can still call you Iron Man, right? Like, even though...
No.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. But it is Keith Yandle, longtime NHL pro, great guy. Retired on Spittin' Chicklets last year, so very good friend of Barstool and the Spittin' Chicklets guys. So, fine, let's start there. I think you're still hockey's Iron Man. Why can't we call you that?
Maybe ex Iron Man. I don't know. When Phil passed it up, and I think he gets it now, and deservedly so. And honestly, it was because I don't know if you remember Andrew Cogliano had the record going for a long time. Then he got a 1-game suspension, and then I kind of jumped into that 1 seed. So for me, it was kind of never really felt like it was mine because Cogs did so much and played so hard, and then. For me, I had it for 6 months, and then Phil breaks it. So glad another American guy could do it, and Phil, one of the best guys to ever lace him up. So happy for him, and obviously I was happy to have it for as little as I did, but it was definitely something I took pride in.
I think we should still call you Iron Man. It's like being president. You're still called Mr. President even after you're out of office.
Yes.
If you hold the title at one point, you are the Iron Man. Big Cat brought it up a second ago. You're good friends with Biz. You played with Biz for a while in Arizona. Did you play with Witt as well overseas?
No, I never played overseas. So Witt and my brother grew up playing on the same team from when they were like 9 years old on. So I've known Witt since I was a kid, since he came over, clogging houses. The little known fact, he's clogged every single one of our friends' toilets. The worst, just a crumpler. He'd take about five yards of toilet paper and just go to work on himself. But so I've known Witt since that, and yeah, it's been a great friendship, and never played with him, but played against him for a long time in the NHL. And one of those guys too. I don't know how much he knows this, but he was a big influence of mine. Just seeing a guy from our area of Massachusetts that could make it and be drafted as high as they did. And, Whit was, even though he's such a goofball now, like he was a true professional when he played, always working out hard in the summer. I tried to emulate him by working out with him in the summer. So he helped me out a ton.
Well, you answered my question because I was going to say who would be the better roommate to stay with if you were going on a road trip. It sounds like Biz then by a mile.
Yeah, not even close, because last thing you want is your toilet clogged on the road, like a 4-day road trip. And so Biz Biz was never my roommate, but we used to have late nights in my room, and Biz would come in, and he might take a sleeping pill or two and fall asleep at the edge of my bed, and we would roll him up in a cocoon and bring him out into the hallway, and he'd be butt naked and be 3 a.m. We'd just hear him banging on the door because he didn't have a room key or anything. So it was always fun messing with him and having our sleepovers together.
He did that on this couch one time, actually, just passed out.
Yeah, too many streams.
He's a narcoleptic.
Yeah. I think he did like 2 streams over the course of 4 days and a podcast. So you can imagine that takes it out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love calling someone a crumpler.
Yeah.
That's a great...
Whit is actually like 2-ply.
Yeah.
But in the true sense of the term.
He's a crumpler. All right, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, my family growing up, we were a 1-ply family. We couldn't afford the good stuff, and he was still clogging it with that.
That's hard to do. That takes a lot of, like, work. That's a real crumpler. So speaking of those guys and you yourself, like, we always have found interviewing hockey guys, like, for some reason they are probably the best on the mic, best in interviews compared to other, sports. Not that other sports aren't great, but like, what is it about hockey guys? Is it because you guys don't get paid like as much as some of the other sports? Like, what is it? Like, it does feel like whenever, like even saying Whit there, how you looked up to him, we all think of him as that goofball, and he was a really good athlete who got drafted really high and played in the NHL for a long time.
Yeah, I think the big thing about hockey players is none of us, I'd say 98% of us don't take ourselves too serious. So you can shit on each other, you can take it, because one of the best advice I got early in my career was, if you can't take a joke, you become a joke. So I took that I didn't take that for granted. So it was always, because you know how locker rooms are. It's like you guys, you're shitting on each other all day, every day. It might get old. It might wear on you some days if you're having a bad day. But at the end of the day, in hockey, even though you might not think we're getting paid enough, but I'll show you my bank account. I don't think we still have fun.
I think you guys should get paid more. I'm just saying it is like we have baseball players. Sometimes they're not the best interviews. They get paid. I don't know what it is. It's just hockey guys, for some reason, it feels like you can connect with them more than maybe other athletes.
I would say the majority of hockey guys, even though it's an expensive sport growing up, and it's a lot of blue collar guys that parents are working 2 jobs to get you to the rinks and afford your equipment and afford travel team, and you get a lot of small town Canadian kids too that you come from nothing, from farmlands, and it really is too, like, if you're going to make it to the NHL at about 16, 17 years old, like, you're out on your own, like, whether it's you're going to prep school or you're going to junior. So you got to grow up quickly. And, I just think for us is just being humble. I always say that the NHL is the best league in the world for meeting people, and some of my closest friends in this world, pretty much everyone that I'm friends with, I've met through hockey, whether it was growing up playing or playing in the NHL. And I really just think that the way guys grew up, and it's obviously that team, like, you can't win in hockey if you're not a good team. You see it in basketball, 2 guys can win you a championship, but hockey, everyone has to be together. And I think that that doesn't create too many big egos.
Yeah. How does that work if a guy comes in from overseas, and let's say they're from Russia, they don't speak English, they get put on the team, and they have to learn how to bust balls and how to joke with guys in a language that they don't speak? Is there ever that language barrier where you try to like fuck around with a guy just as a friend, and it's not getting through to him?
Oh yeah, all the time, especially with the Russians, because they're a little harsher. I think the way that they grew up is a little harsher than maybe we did. They're pretty serious all the time. So yeah, there have definitely been some jokes that have said, and guys are not really too fond of it. I can think of one example. A guy I played with, unbelievable player. He's still playing. Dadonov. He plays in Dallas, and we would do the lineup sheet, and he kind of had that haircut like Caesar from Planet of the Apes. So I was calling him Caesar, and he was like, and he grabbed me on the bus one day. He's like, "Why you call me Caesar? I don't like this." So it's kind of one of those things I had to explain it to him. But like you said, when you have to explain a joke, it's not that funny.
Yeah. So when you retired, there was a story that was written that basically was like Keith Yandle, best teammate ever. And what did you consciously, like, I pride myself on being a great teammate, or like all these stories about how funny you were in the locker room and making guys feel at ease? Was that something you actually thought about, or was it just that's your personality, that's who you've been?
Yeah, well, that article took me a while to write too. So
there it is. Good teammate.
yeah. Yeah, for me, it was kind of, I don't know. It's my dad is a guy, he's got a million friends, treats everybody unbelievable. Everyone has amazing things to say about him. My mom's probably the most loyal person you ever meet. My brother and sister, my brother's got a million friends. My sister, the same way. So it's kind of like I grew up that way of just kind of involving everyone. Even when I was in school, I wasn't a guy that just hung out with one group of people. I was hanging out with everybody in every circle. So I think for me, it was just kind of, I love bringing people together. Even to this day, it's just having get-togethers at your house, having people around you. It's just a fun thing for me. But yeah, I would say everybody, like there are guys in the NHL that any guy you could say that about. Every guy's a good teammate that I've ever played with. Maybe one or two guys that aren't great, but those guys don't stick around. And I knew for me, sticking around, obviously, when you're not the best player in the world, you got to have some other intangibles. And I knew for me is being a good teammate, being a guy that people can trust, just being there for guys no matter what. And I think a lot of it came to when I was young in the league, I had some of the best mentors going, and it was kind of during that era where young guys didn't play too much, and older guys would kind of not take care of them. But I had guys like Shane Doan, Adrian Aucoin, Derek Morris, Ed Jovanovski, just guys that really took care of me, showed me the ropes, and I just tried to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, the story it must be awesome reading the article that was written where they pulled like everyone in the NHL, and they're like, yeah, Keith Yandle's the best guy ever.
I never read it.
Shut up.
I swear to God, yeah, no, I didn't even know about that. So I'll have to check that out now that I'm retired. I'll check that out.
Okay, yeah.
It's like it's an oral history of your teammates.
Yeah, so, like even Biz said, the first word that comes to mind is levity. There's no way Biz knows that word.
No, absolutely not.
I don't even know what that means.
But the fact it was an oral history, like, yes, of course they'd ask Biz. They wouldn't be like, "Hey, Biz, can you write something for us?"
He had just heard that word levity like a minute before he got interviewed. It was like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like a good word. Can we talk a little current hockey playoffs?
Absolutely.
So we had the debate on Monday after the Bruins choke. First of all, do you call it a choke? Was it a choke knowing how volatile the hockey playoffs are?
I don't think it was a choke as much as people are saying. Obviously, if the Bruins didn't break every record that they had and it was just a 1 versus 8 and you have to play Florida, like you look at Florida's team, they're loaded. They got superstar players. They got guys that are playing amazing this year and just carrying the team. So I don't think it's one of those things where it's as big of an upset to me because I've been watching Florida, living in Florida, watching them all the time. You see how good they are. So I think for me, it wasn't as big as a surprise. All my meathead buddies back home who thought the Bruins were going to win every series in 4 were probably a little bit shocked. But I think for me, it wasn't too big of a shock just because because also too, the Panthers have been playing playoff hockey for the last month, trying to get into the playoffs, fighting and clawing. And the Bruins really hadn't been tested pretty much all year. I mean, would they have 10 losses or whatever it was? So it's one of those things when a team's playing playoff hockey going into the playoffs, they're definitely a tough out.
So now that they're out, is it wide open now?
It honestly is. And I think everybody had Boston going to the finals. Now it's like, okay, who do you take? Yeah, you guys still in the Canadian, on the Toronto, on the Leafs?
I'm on the Leafs.
I'm on the Oilers.
Okay.
He's
So
believing
you guys
in
want
McJesus.
an all Canada final?
Yeah.
I'm a believer that this is the Leafs' year in the memory of Rob Ford. He's like their Harambe this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I'm on a. If McDavid is as good as everyone says, prove it. You got to win a ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see him win a ring, but there's also storylines too, like the Toronto team where, they haven't got out of the first round in 19 years. They got superstar guys. They probably have more superstars than Edmonton does just up and down their lineup. So I don't think that's going to be an easy series for them. I think Florida's going to beat them in that series. I would love to see Toronto move on, but just not against my Cats. Yeah, so I think it is pretty much wide open. If I saw Jersey in the finals versus, Vegas is an awesome team, but if I saw Vegas versus Jersey, it would be not surprising to me.
As an American, do you have any pride in keeping the cup on this side of the wall?
100%. Because they, especially working up there this year, I did some broadcasting in Toronto for Sportsnet, and I think they haven't won it since '93. Montreal, is that correct?
Yeah,
and,
it's crazy.
As much as that country takes pride in their hockey and not having won it since '93, I think it would just be amazing to keep it in the U.S. for as long as we have. But that also being said, I'd love to see McDavid get a cup. I'd love to see Austin Matthews get a cup. But it is nice having that on the Canadian guys, just knowing that the cup hasn't been on Canadian soil in 30 years.
Yeah. So talking about McDavid, he is that much better than everyone else. Watching it, what is it specifically that is that much more elite? Is it speed? Is it like, it is crazy watching him on the ice because you're like, this guy's moving at just a different level than everyone else.
I honestly don't think he even gets tired. Like he
comes off the ice
all the time.
If he didn't get tired, he would play 60 minutes. Let's just be honest.
True.
Yeah.
I wonder honestly how long he could play and be effective without coming off the ice. But he's got the hands, he's got the speed, he's got the vision. And in the beginning of the year, beginning of his career, he didn't shoot the puck as much, but now he's shooting it. I think he's been I don't want to say called out, but he's been challenged by some of his teammates to shoot the puck more, and he did this year, and he was scoring basically at will. So it's if you're looking at basketball and you look at a guy like Giannis or something like that who's 7 foot and can run and jump, like McDavid's probably 6'1", 185 pounds, maybe, in a physical sport too, and he can get away with whatever he wants because he's so fast, and just the dual threat of being one of the best passers in the league and now having the ability to score kind of whenever you want is just taking his game through the roof. And he doesn't cheat it either. He's not a guy who's cheating for the offense and looking to go on breakaways every shift. He's committed to his D zone and committed to winning, and that's kind of one of the only reasons I'd like to see a Canadian team win.
So if he was playing, if there were let's say 20 Connor McDavids on a team, he had to play every position, including goaltender. Do they win a Stanley Cup?
Yeah, not even close.
Ooh, Witt disagrees with you.
20 of them?
Yeah, but they're goalies too, and they play defense.
Also,
so every position on the ice is Connor McDavid.
Also, remember the locker room. There's no Keith Yandle in the locker room to lighten it up. It's only Connor McDavid's.
Maybe you got to bring in a good coach. Bring in a coach like Biz or something like that.
No, Connor McDavid's a coach too.
He's a coach.
Oh, he's coaching too.
And the mascot. There's just one puck too.
They don't win.
Okay.
Yeah, there might be some jealousy on there. It's like, oh, I want to take more shots. No, I want to take more shots.
When watching playoff hockey, there's two things that are just like painstaking if you're a fan. One is we talked about the overtime loss for like the Bruins or the Avalanche didn't go to overtime, but overtime hockey, Game 7, there's nothing like it. The other one is when a team can't get the puck out of their own zone for what feels like forever. So you obviously playing defense, like what goes through your head when you're at like minute 2, minute 3, like holy shit. What, like, are you guys trying different things? What, like, walk us through what's happening on the ice when something like that happens.
Either it depends. During playoffs, you're trying not to take a penalty. If it's regular season, you might even just like knock the net off and risk taking a penalty because you're so tight. You have no oxygen in your brain. Everything shuts down. Guys look like they're going a million miles an hour. Whenever I was at the end of a shift like that, and there were guys buzzing around, I would just yell, too many men," to see if the ref would blow the whistle, but it never really worked. And but it honestly feels like there's too many men on the ice. And it's funny story. We played in Dallas, and Dallas is where you go into the locker room is in the zone. It's not through the bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got hit with a puck, and the shift kept going, and my leg was completely done. I couldn't even like put any weight on it. I was trying to get off the gate, and there was a cop standing at the door. He's like, "I can't open the gate, dude. Like, what are you thinking right now?" In the middle of the gate, and they're just snapping it around. They end up scoring, thankfully, so I got to go to the locker room.
Yeah, but it is crazy to watch when you. I mean, it's great when your team is like that in the zone where you're like, something's going to happen, because there is a breaking point where it's like if you can keep the pressure on that long, there will be a goal, and you can feel it coming. It's got to be just maddening to have that happen against you.
Yeah, it is. But like one that comes to mind too is the Bruins when they won it in 11. They were hemmed in their zone for it seemed like 5 minutes, and Gregory Campbell blocked like 5 shots. It was at home. The crowd was going insane. He ended up breaking his leg, I think, on one of the 8 that he blocked. And so you can get momentum that way if you're able to keep it out of your net, because your whole bench is going insane, because you know how tough it is on the ice, and guys are just selling out to try to block it, to keep it out of your net. And if you can kill something off like that, it brings the crowd into it. It brings your team into it even more, and you get the momentum swing on that end. But coming to the bench after a shift like that is you're just searching for some oxygen.
As a defenseman, what goes through your head when you know that you're about to have to block a shot? Because that's the craziest thing that you guys do. It's honestly insane to watch it. You lay your body down on the ice, and you're just like, okay, I've accepted the fact that I'm going to be in excruciating pain in about half a second.
Yeah, that's why I never really did it, and probably the reason why I was able to be the Iron Man, because my theory was I never asked the goalies to go play power play for me, so why should I have to block it for them? And they're making a lot of money. They're wearing a lot more padding than I am, so I used to let them handle it. But no, it's awful, especially the ones that you don't see, like when they hit you in the ankle, when you're not looking, when there's like this much room of no padding above your ankle, and if it hits you there in between the skate and your shin pad, it's the worst. And putting on your skate for the next couple of weeks is not fun.
So speaking of that, like we said at the beginning, Iron Man, we're still calling you Iron Man because, like PFT said, Mr. President, that still stands. Over 1,000 games consecutively. How did you do it, and what was the worst injury you played with? Because I mean, that's insane. Just even talking about getting hit in the leg, like going out and playing the next day.
The worst one was when I got hit in the mouth. I broke my upper jaw. I lost 9 teeth on upper and lower. That was, I wouldn't say that was just the worst, like everyday pain. I had a knee injury. I got hit from behind in Vancouver and went into the boards and had a bad, like not a real bad knee injury, but that one was awful just because every stride it hurt. But the face one was more of just like the everyday pain and looking in the mirror every day and feeling that pain. And you have to wear the full mask when you break your jaw like that. So it was awful for about 8 weeks.
It's like Kanye West.
And it was right before Thanksgiving too, so I couldn't enjoy my favorite holiday.
Yeah. So what were you eating? Were you just drinking smoothies?
Gravy.
Oh. And did you never thought about coming out? Like even with the knee injury, you weren't like, hey, maybe I'm not 100%. Like maybe I should sit out a couple and get healthy.
So that one actually, because I wasn't really aware of my streak then, and I had my coach in Arizona at the time, Dave Tippett. He had a streak himself, I think, of like 600 games, and he was the one who came into the locker room and he was like, "Hey, I didn't play in a game. I didn't feel 100%, and I regret it to this day." So I was like, all right, done. I was like, and he knows I'm not going to be 100%. I might be obviously a limited ice time, might have played power play and sparingly here and there. But I was able to gut it out. And the trainers too. The trainers in the NHL take such good care of us. They're like I had a bad. I broke like the heel bone in my foot. I got hit with a puck, and the trainers weren't. We had a back-to-back game in Boston and then in Philly, and the trainers were in my room till like 4 a.m. working on my foot. Just a regular season game, just working on my foot to keep it loosened so I could wake up in the morning and get it in the boot and play in the game. So those guys deserve a lot of credit for it as well.
Jesus. Yeah. You mentioned earlier about just screaming on the ice, too many men, too many men. You also would scream like juicy whenever something nice happened. And you invented the word sonk. As far as I know, maybe you heard it from somebody else, but maybe you could walk us through the word sonk and any of our listeners who might not know about the legend of sonk.
So remember everyone used to say psych back in the day?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys do that too. So we kind of just took it. It was me and Chris Bork, Ray Bork's son. We kind of one day someone said, yeah, psych. And then someone just said, yeah, sonk. And then it just stuck from there on. So it's basically just when I would do it during the game, I would fake a pass and just basically psych somebody or sonk them. And they would go the other way, and it would crack me up. And it got caught on the mics on the net one game, and our video coach called me in after the game. He's like, what the fuck did you say on the ice? And I was like, because you could hear me laughing in the video because I sonked him, and like he bit on it hard, right? So I'm dying laughing behind the net, sitting there, and I just go, yeah, I sonked you. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know, man. But it's just little things. Like during an 82-game season, like there are some games where you just got to entertain yourself and find some ways to have some laughs on the ice.
So would you would say it every time you sonk someone? You just say it on the ice to no one?
Yeah, I would. Towards the end of my career, it would everyone on the bench would yell it. Guys that I did it to that knew about it, they would be like, "Fuck, you sonked me," you know. So it kind of grew into, and then guys would be standing in front of the net. They'd be like, "You're not gonna sonk me. You're not gonna sonk." But so it turned into a fun little thing, and obviously a lot of this has to do with the Spit and Chicklets guys, but yeah, you'd hear it in the crowd if I did it, like the crowd yelling it. So it was a lot of fun.
But
That's awesome.
That also goes both ways. So if somebody sonks you, did they let you know? Would they say sonk to you?
Yeah, you can't sonk the sonk master though. I wouldn't get sonked. But it was also too. It was like in the defensive zone when I had the puck behind the net. You know, during like a control breakout.
Yeah.
There's a guy standing in front of the net. I would fake a pass to the left or right, and he would just bite on it. So I was never really in that position to get sonked, or I probably would have gotten sonked.
Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue.
You can say it for anything too.
Yeah.
It's a very versatile word.
Yeah. All right. So who do you have winning the Stanley Cup now that we're one round through? Which it's crazy. Bruins out, Avs out. Like there's been some pretty crazy upsets. And teams that Rangers are just choke artists. It feels like you played for the Rangers for a little. I mean, something's wrong with that franchise.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that this year loading up, I thought they had what it takes, especially having one of the best goalies in the league is, that's going to be a tough one for them to swallow. But I think it's up in the air this year. In the beginning of before playoffs, I had Dallas and Boston in the finals. I think Dallas has the best goalie with Jake Ottinger. He's a stud, young kid. He was unbelievable in the playoffs last year against Calgary. This year, I think it took him 2 or 3 games to kind of find where he is, and he's been lights out since. They took care of business in 5 games. So I think Dallas. Now I want to go Dallas, Florida in the finals.
We're going to get back to Keith Yandle in a second. He's brought to you by BetterHelp. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. But when we spend all of our time giving, it can leave us feeling stretched thin. It can leave us feeling burned out. Therapy can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/PMT today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PMT. And now here's more Keith Yandle.
Oh, wow. So like when you're playing defense in your goalie, would your goalie ever tell you like, hey, I'm not seeing it tonight. Like I need extra help here. Like I need you to help me out. Would they tell you that kind of stuff? Is it game to game? The goalies, like they're seeing the puck or they're not seeing the puck?
I think it's I don't think a goalie would ever really admit it. It's kind of something on the bench you see where if a guy's not tracking it, usually you can tell in warm-ups if the goalie's not tracking it well, and then sometimes he plays unbelievable after not making a save in warm-ups. But never really a goalie would really come out and say that about himself. It was more you'd see it from the bench and be like, all right, so-and-so is not feeling it tonight. We gotta block shots or make sure they're not getting second opportunities. But like I said, it's just a team game. You
Right.
recognize things like that, and guys pick each other up. And because offensively, some guys aren't there. Some games you got to help them out. So it's it's helping each other out all the time.
This is a dumb question, but in if anyone who's ever gone to a hockey game, there's always the one guy in the crowd who's yelling "shoot the puck" at all times. All times. Has a coach ever though? Like maybe you guys aren't scoring, not a lot of opportunities. Has he ever been like, "Hey guys, maybe just shoot the puck"? Because there are times where it's like just shoot it more and maybe good things will happen.
Yeah, it is because it is, and I agree with that too. Well, sometimes you need to simplify it when you're looking for, especially on the power play, if you're looking for seam passes after seam pass. And nowadays, every team scouts so well that they know what you're looking for the majority of the time. So I do agree with sometimes shooting the puck is the easier option, but there's also 4 other guys in the lanes or trying to break up a pass. But Quenneville was definitely one of those guys. He'd be like, just fucking shoot the puck. So yeah, he was an old school, simple, wanted to simplify things. If I was a power play coach, I would let guys kind of do what they wanted, but I think it's more the fans that get frustrated than anyone else, and I don't understand why. It drives me insane.
But you just got to shoot it.
Yeah, and it
simple.
sounds like the fans sometimes are right. They just got to shoot the fucking puck.
They might be right sometimes, but I don't know. Guys, the people, we don't go to their jobs and yell them to type faster. It's kind of a thing. You just enjoy the game.
You were talking about goalies being able to see the puck. I feel like goalies are the weirdest people on the planet. I remember hearing a story about how Braden Holtby would sit down before games and he'd take like a grease board and put 5 dots on it and then just dart his eyes back and forth to the dots in a specific order. Are goalies as weird as we think they are?
Yeah, they are. They really are. And it's kind of so usually the starting goalie is just out of control. Like you don't talk to him, don't go near him on game day. And then the backup goalie is usually the biggest beauty on the team, rallying guys to go because they know they're not playing that much. And the funnest guys, but those starting goalies, man, I think it's from a young age on where you're in the crease, you got no one to talk to, you're not on the bench, you probably feel like you're on an island out there. So I wouldn't wish being a goalie on anyone, but there are some guys that handle it really well. I've played with a few guys, mostly backups that are unbelievable guys that you're hanging out with all the time. But the majority of the goalies, they're doing room service night before game. They're not going out. They're not checking out the town. They're just kind of in their zone from the night before till puck drops.
You got to be a psycho to be a goalie.
Definitely. What's the best city to go to on the road?
So I always said Chicago was my favorite. I'm not just trying to pump Big Cat's tires. I wouldn't say that maybe as of late. You have Vegas. Arizona's awesome to go visit. Florida's amazing. But I always loved Chicago. It was always great food. People are super nice. Great shopping.
Vancouver, the Roxy Flu. You ever have the Roxy Flu?
I've had the Roxy Flu before, but played through it. Actually, that's probably why I got hurt in Vancouver. It wasn't well rested.
That would be funny if your Ironman streak ended with the Roxy Flu and they listed it.
Everyone would know too.
Yeah. All right, so to bring up bad memories, because you brought up Chicago, I have 2 questions. One, the biggest scumbag of all time, Rafi Torres. Do you take a little blame for that hit? Because I think you hit the puck out of Hossa had the puck, you swiped it from him, and then Rafi Torres 50 seconds later decided to take his head off. You can admit that was too much.
Was it really though? I mean,
yeah, it was. It was too much. He didn't have the puck. He fucking elbowed him in the face.
That guy was a complete savage. He didn't care who it was. Because I remember we played. Yeah, probably that was definitely the wrong thing, especially against a legend like Hossa too.
Right.
You feel bad. You feel bad for it. But we won the series. Obviously, you don't want to win it with a guy that's out. But we won the series, and that was a huge stepping stone for us. But definitely, Tico played. He played on the line of being a complete savage, and but one of those guys you want on your team. He's just complete gamer. Will put his face through the wall. He'll hit you from behind. He'll do anything to win. But yeah, that might have been a little dirty.
I would assume you need at least one guy on every roster that has that. Maybe playing a little bit over the line sometimes just to set some tone and stuff like that. You guys in all the locker rooms, you knew who that was, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. And it used to be, beginning of my career, there was maybe 2 or 3 guys on every team that you're like, all right, we're going to get ran from behind 16 times tonight. Just the respect factor wasn't there for some guys because a lot of it was fourth line guys trying to make it, trying to stay in the lineup. And just doing anything it took to be in the NHL, which you gotta respect, but it was never fun playing against those guys. I think it's kind of tapered down a little bit now. There might be one on every team, maybe if that, but I think the respect factor throughout the league is at an all-time high right now, and guys aren't taking too big of liberties on guys.
So one other thing, I think it was from the same series. My memory has completely started to fade here, but Mike Smith flopped.
100%.
Okay, thank you. All right. Yes, He flopped. That was a flop.
So Smitty's probably the best athlete in this kind, and he's a goalie, right? They're usually not great athletes. He's probably the best athlete I ever played with. Could hit a baseball 400 feet. He could a great golfer. He can throw a football. Most Canadian guys can't throw a football. He's slinging it out there, and he's probably 6'4", 220, maybe 6'5", and completely shredded. But he just loved to flop, and he would get us some power plays, but he would also start some scrums sometimes where he would flop, and then there'd be a big brawl, and it's like, Jesus, Smitty, can you just stay in your crease? But he was so good at playing the puck, it was like having a third D back there. Yeah, he was. I'm showing PFT right now. Is that Andrew Shaw came around, and he looked like he got windmill power punched.
It's a great flop.
Yeah.
I hated him so much in that stupid Wile E. Coyote helmet. I hated him so much.
I will say he was good. He was very good at flopping.
Yeah, I mean,
he could go play in the MLS.
If you're an athlete, that's an athletic flop.
Yeah,
he did a gymnastics move on that.
That's the best part about playoff hockey is you just remember these moments where you're like, I fucking hate Rafi Torres and Mike Smith for life. I fucking hate these guys.
Yeah,
it's just one.
But if you hung with them, you would love them.
I'm sure, because every hockey guy's cool.
They're beauties.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a question because as a Capitals fan, I've been lucky enough to watch Ovi play for these last 18, 19 years. And he's been awesome to watch. But it also does seem like he's been scoring the same goals for 18, 19 years, especially on the power play. I mean, he's great in the open ice too, but he sets up shop, and you know where he's going to be, and you know when he's going to hit that one-timer when they cycle it around on the power play. And no team has figured out a way to truly stop Ovi to be able to do that. Have you tried to figure out different ways to defend that? Or maybe there's just no way to stop it?
Everybody tries. I remember when we played you guys in the Eastern Conference, or was it the Eastern? Whenever we played, it's to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Dan Girardi just stood right in front of him, didn't move. Was just like, all right, we're just going to keep a guy right in front of you. That worked out. We won the series, but it's one of those things. He shoots it so hard, and he's got that big banana hook, so goalies can't see where it's coming from. They can't read where if it's going to go glove or blocker. And I don't think, honestly, he knows where it's going. I'm sure he does, but he just rips it as hard as he can. Doesn't care if it's high. Doesn't care if it's going at someone's face. He just rips it to score, which you got to respect out of him. But he when someone's been doing it that long, it's not a fluke. There's a reason why he's got 9 million goals from the same spot. It's a lot of people don't want to go out and block it. Even the goalies, like he's putting it right here. Like if you get hit right here by a puck, it's even with the equipment on, that's hurting the goalie. So it's a tough job to try to stop him. But you gotta really just be impressed with what he's done from that spot for so long.
There's so many goals that he scores that they go right past the goalie's head.
Yeah.
And you can see the goalie react after the puck's past them. Like they didn't even see it, but they heard it go past their ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear the whiz. Like if you're on in front of the net and he rips a one timer, even if it's 5 feet away from you, you hear the just flying by your ear, and it's just you can smell the rubber from it. It's just it's vicious when he shoots the puck.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a Hank submitted question. Hank's being a creep. He's on the Zoom, but he's hidden on the Zoom. So he wanted to ask this: what is it that Patrice Bergeron does that makes him so elite at faceoffs? And what is the skill that faceoffs, like some guys are just that much better? Because it feels like it should be 50-50.
Honestly, the older you get and the respect that he has throughout the league, he probably gets away with a little bit more than, maybe a younger guy might, whether it's having your feet a little bit too far ahead or being low and not letting the other guy get in. But obviously it's a skill that he's worked on. He knows what he's doing. You also got to give the wingers a lot of credit. Like Marchie's a guy that jumps off the line faster than, I'd say Chris Kreider might be the only one faster than him to get off the line to help retrieve pucks. So you do got to give credit to his wingers, but he's a guy. He's so crafty. He's not the strongest guy, I'd say, in the NHL. He's not the biggest guy, but he's just so good with his stick. He's such a veteran. He's probably practices face-offs 500 times a day, whatever it is. So a guy that works on his craft, and it's actually impressive what he can do in the face-off duck. Because you might not notice it, but they have so many face-off plays where it's kind of the only time in a hockey game you can truly set up a play, like in basketball or football, where you can pretty much have routes, and they score a lot of goals off of face-off plays, and that's because he's cleaning people out in the draws.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, was it Whitney that told us that if you start losing a bunch of face-offs, did you say like hit the rice bucket, pal?
Yeah, hit the rice
right
bucket.
Afterwards, get those forearms.
Yeah,
build that up. I did a bad job earlier because I gave you the option of Biz and Whit, who you'd rather room with. I'm going to throw RA into the mix.
Oh yeah.
What about RA? Biz, Whit, or RA?
I wouldn't sleep in the same state as RA.
You get a contact high.
Well, you probably wouldn't have to sleep. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. There would be no sleeping with him. So me and Whit have a bet in the Florida Toronto series that if Florida wins, Whit has to spend a weekend at Pearson Airport in Toronto. Obviously, and if I lose, I got to go to Daytona Beach with RA for a weekend.
Oh my God! What a bet! What a bet!
That's pretty good.
Holy shit! I had a couple last questions. The Oilers. So we talked about Connor McDavid. They also have, I think it's historical how good their power play is
56%.
It's insane. Is that just they have the best guys, or like what makes, from a defensive perspective, when you're playing against a power play, what are the elite power plays? What are they doing that's different than everyone else?
So they're just so unpredictable. They're giving you looks that you mostly don't. Like pretty much everyone kind of has the same power play. We have one guy up top, a one-timer on the flank, a guy coming downhill, front guy. Pretty much everyone does that same setup, but they just have guys moving the entire time. McDavid doesn't stop moving, and him and Leon just create so much off of each other. They're so good, I think, because they're both so elite that they can just kind of see what just them two see, and the other three guys on the ice are just like, all right, we're not going to get in the way here. So I just think the looks that they give you are so unpredictable that they're coming at you from they could be behind the net, they could be up top, they could be passing, they can be shooting. They're just so unpredictable. And to have a playoff series at 56%, and it's actually insane. Billy, that's over half of the time they score goals.
And their
You know what I
regular
mean?
season was insane too. It was like in the 30s.
Yeah, and I mean, power plays are up a little bit. The percentage used to be, if you could be 20% on the power play and 80% on the penalty kill, you had a good year. But now teams are like 30. I think they were 32% during the season, or
32.4%. Yeah.
It's insane. That just the and it's those two guys. I think they get to play pretty much the whole 2 minutes, which is always a nice perk. But they deserve it. And even if they shut them down on the power play, because Biz was saying last night that Vegas was the least penalized team all year. So even if they can stay out of the box, then the series could go a little different.
What about that perspective? If you're going into the box, do you hear what the opposing fans are yelling at you when you're just sitting there for 2 minutes waiting to get back on the ice? Do you listen to it, or do you just try to block it all out?
Usually some people will put their face, like there's usually a little crack, and some people will put their mouth through and yell at you. Some people are hilarious. I think it was Vancouver used to have like guys dancing in front of you, like dancing next to you. Those guys are pretty funny. But it's also an opportunity. If someone opens their mouth, I've seen some fans get absolutely shriveled by guys in the box. Where if your partner with you isn't up to standards for some people, like you're gonna get ricochet shots at your friend next to you or your girlfriend. So it can be pretty nasty if you go at a guy. I've seen some guys get absolutely shriveled from the players in the box.
Is it the best feeling in the world when you're in the box and your team gets the kill? Like, because you have to be sitting there like, this is all on me.
Yeah, especially when it's late in a game or in overtime. You're sick to your stomach the whole time. There's not a worse feeling. And then if they do score and you have to do the walk of shame across, it's the worst. There's not a worse feeling.
The best penalty box moment of all time, Ty Domi, when that guy he squirted water over the glass onto the guy. The guy tried to come at Ty Domi, who's probably the last guy that I would ever want to fight in the NHL, and he just pulled him into the box and beat the fuck out of him inside the penalty box.
Yeah,
that was great.
It's amazing, and I think that's probably deterred some people from trying to climb in the box or put your head over the glass, because once someone's on our territory, it's kind of game on. You can do whatever you want, especially back then. You could do whatever you want. You had Mike Milbury going in the stands and beating up people. So it's a little bit different now with the way the world is. But if someone falls into that box and you're in there, it wouldn't be a fun day to be in there.
No, definitely not.
What happened to that kid in Cincinnati?
Yeah,
in the zoo.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Harambe.
When you're on the ice and a ref is like, they're getting together trying to figure out who the penalty's on. Have you ever sonked a ref and just like skated off the ice?
So I used to, because I didn't PK. So anytime a guy that would PK, if they got a penalty, I would try to go to the box as if I did it. so that guy could penalty kill, because I knew I wasn't getting out there on the PK. Sometimes it worked. I'd say, there's a handful of times where it works. Now I think they might. I saw last night they reviewed something where a guy, I think it was the Rangers game, they reviewed who the player was, and I think it was Miller or something like that. But during regular season, they don't really check for that. So if there's kind of something going on, I would just skate to the box, and a lot of the times they're not going to question it.
You'll do the bid for him. Yeah, you're like
stand-up guy.
Who's that guy on Succession that offered to take jail time?
Oh, was it Tom?
Yeah, it was Tom. Yeah, Tom's like, I'll do the bid for you.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Good guy. Best teammate.
Yeah, best teammate by far. All right, so I had one last question. This has been awesome. We got to have you back on, because we get tired of just talking to Whit and Biz the whole time.
I can imagine.
Roback question, RHOBACK.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, and shorts. Shorts for the summer. Go to roback.com. Use promo code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Most comfortable clothes out there. All right, so speaking of the last 8 teams that are still alive, what is the one player or team that isn't getting talked about that you like, either love watching them play or watch out for them, because if they get the right things going, they could, win the cup?
So I think obviously they're getting talked about a little bit more now after they beat the Bruins, but Matthew Tkachuk, what he did for that team, putting that team on his shoulders, even from the end of the year on till now. What he's done for that team and for hockey down here has been amazing. Sasha Barkov, who's probably one of the top 5 best players in the league, he didn't have a great last series against Boston, but I could see if he even plays to half of his ability, and you never know, he could be hurt, something could be going on with him. If he plays just a little bit better, which I mean, he's one of the best defensive players, amazing offensively. He was really good defensively, but if he comes in offensively and puts up some numbers like he can, they're going to be a scary team to play.
So about that Panthers-Bruins series, it felt like the Panthers, their forecheck was all over the place. Is forechecking similar to like maybe not rebounding or like loose ball, but is it a lot of it is effort? Because it does feel game to game whether a team is like really putting in that effort, and if it's working, it can completely change the complexity of a game because you put the pressure on them for the entire sheet of ice.
Yeah, and a lot of it's probably like in football, like in the trenches, like on the line, just kind of whether you can get momentum going forward or who's kind of winning that line battle. But a lot of dump forechecking, it comes from a good dump. And if you're dumping the puck in, I know it sounds ridiculous to have a good dump or a bad dump, but if you're dumping it in and the goalie can come out and stop it and pass it over your D, then you're getting out of the zone easy. But if you can put it in areas where the goalie can't get it and the D are struggling to get it, whether that's a hard rim high on the glass or a soft chip where you have pressure coming in on guys, there's just so many variables because now you can't hold up. You can't have your defensive partner hold up. So as a D, when someone puts it back there, they're coming full speed. Usually you're pivoting. You're not really going as fast as you can. So it's 1 versus 1 and they're coming full speed. Never a fun thing breaking a puck out, especially in playoffs when everybody's hitting everybody. So I would say a lot of it comes with good dumps and not crumpling the toilet paper.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very funny. Just be like, you got to get a good dump. Yeah, I would assume that guys just sit there and practice dumps in practice, right?
As sick as it sounds, you actually do. It's because the little things whether they always say chip it in, chip it out. If you get the puck 5 feet inside your blue line and 5 feet inside their blue line, you're usually winning the game if you can have good execution at those areas. So yeah, there's a lot of practices where you're trying to chip pucks in, where you're getting in on the forecheck, because a lot of it's timing too. Whether if the left wing's standing still and he's holding onto it and chips it in, he's got to wait for the center to get across to make sure he's full speed ahead, getting in on the forecheck. And so a lot goes into it that you're not just dumping it in just to dump it in. You're dumping it in with a purpose.
Yeah. It's interesting talking about defense because I have to assume, maybe I'm wrong, because I didn't grow up playing hockey, but when you grow up, do you always, when you're practicing, when you're a kid, I feel like you'd want to be playing offense, right? You'd want to be trying to score goals, try to be a center. At what point do you start to fall in love with defense, or do you just get put at defense because you're good at other stuff?
That's a good question. I was a goalie till I was 12. I'd play the first half goalie, and then I'd change on the bench. I'd have my dad and the other coach would take my pads off and put my shin pads on, and then I'd go out and play D the rest of the game. But I think as a D, I always liked it because usually as a kid you have 4 D on a team. In the NHL there's 6, so you're playing a little bit less. But as a kid there's usually 4 D, so you're pretty much out there every other shift. So I always enjoyed that part of just always being out there and being on the ice. And as a forward, when there's 3 lines, it can kind of, when you're a kid, there's usually 3 lines. So it kind of gets where you're sitting on the bench a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. That's actually a really good question. I'd have to ask my brother that. He's more into the kids hockey and positioning kids and getting them the best out of them. Because he's switched a couple of my nephews. They started out as forward, and then he switched them to D, which I think has helped because the way the game is now, D are so offensive, so it should help them out.
They're actually called periods in hockey, not halves. Just thought I'd educate you a little bit on that. It's kind of a finer point of the game.
Did I say half?
Yeah, no, it's okay. It happens to a lot of casuals.
I said halfway through.
I think you said it half After the first, it's okay. It doesn't matter. But
All right,
just
we'll run the tape back.
next time you're on a hockey podcast, they're going to eat you alive if you say that. So just a little tip. Do you remember your first fight?
First fight in the NHL?
Just in hockey.
As kids, we used to fight a lot as kids. I remember getting into a fight in the AHL. There was a kid that scored. He had long hair like yours, and he had just scored a nice goal. And I was getting yelled at by my coach. I'm like, all right, I'm going to fight this guy at the face-off. He just scored a nice goal. He's got to be a skilled player. And I ask him at the face-off, and as I'm dropping my gloves, I just hear everybody on our bench yelling, no! And he got the best of me for sure. Yeah, so that was but my first NHL one, I'm not sure. Maybe it might have been Cal Clutterbuck in Minnesota at the time. I remember fighting him when I was pretty young. That might have been my first one.
Yeah. All right. Well, Keith, thank you so much, man. This has been awesome. We really appreciate it, and we definitely got to have you back on again. Looks like are you living in Arizona?
Florida.
Oh, Florida. Look at you. Is Whit just trying to like stay at your house all the time to play golf?
He's came down. He's came down a couple times this year for a golf trip. Yeah, I don't let him shit in my house though. Biz spent a weekend with us a couple weeks ago, so he's a treat. He can't even. I got 2 kids, and he's like swearing at dinner. I'm like, dude, if my kids are 12 and 10, like you can't just be swearing in front of them. You know what I mean?
Talking about his butthole.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, man, and we'll definitely have you back on.
Yeah, I would love that, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Keith Yandle was brought to you by the Black Tux. Not to get all parental, but it's time we had the talk. You know, the one about that 3-letter word that ends in X. You'll probably experience it a few times in your life. No, not that one. I'm talking about a tux. And when you need a tux, the best place to get one is the Black Tux. The Black Tux makes it super easy to get an on-trend, top-quality, guaranteed-to-fit tux without ever leaving your house. Here's how it works. You take the Black Tux Fit Quiz, pick the style that you want to rock, and boom, your tux is delivered to your door 10 days before the day that you need it. That's plenty of time to try it on, make sure it wears you well, get some feedback maybe from somebody that you're going with on a date, make sure that they agree that the tux looks awesome. And hey, if the fit's not quite right, say hello to the Black Tux Fit Guarantee. Order a better size within a day or two of receiving the less than great fitting one, and they will send another one right away at no extra cost. And if you'd prefer an in-store experience, the Black Tux has showrooms across the country. Their expert fit specialists will give you the perfect style tux or suit and make sure that it fits just right. You can rent or buy. The Black Tux is the best to go when you need a tuxedo for a wedding or a special night. It's wedding season coming up. You're going to be rocking tuxes. Use the Black Tux. Right now, when you go to theblacktux.com/PMT and use code PMT, you save $30 off your order. That's theblacktux.com, TheBlackTux.com/PMT, and then use code PMT. Boom, save $30. Theblacktux.com/PMT, promo code PMT.
Okay, let's wrap up the show with a little guys on chicks. Henry?
Hank?
Are you ready for guys on chicks? He's typing something. He's probably saying, yeah, we got to fire that guy.
Yeah.
Pack your bags, sucker.
Yeah,
How would you, if you fired us, how would you fire us? Have you fired someone?
I wouldn't tell you, and I would just tweet out a public statement. So that was the first way you guys found out.
That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah. I mean,
Change
I'd
our
rather
key card?
have us just not be able to get
leak
into the
it to like
office.
Schefter or like Shams.
Oh, Schefter, like being like Barstool Sports and Big Cat have parted ways and that's how I read it. Whew.
I would leak it to Ravel if I fired you.
Whew. Well, you can't fire Hank.
I know. But I said if I did fire him,
Yeah.
I would leak it to Ravel.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, I overheard my husband talking to his brother about staying in hotels by himself. My husband told him every time he goes on a business trip and his hotel room has 2 beds, he always jerks off onto the bed that he isn't going to sleep in and slightly messes up the sheets to see if the cleaning crew actually changes the bedding. My brother-in-law is dumbfounded, but my husband claims that is normal guy behavior. They're both AWLs, so I know they're listening to this conversation, but I have to know if this is normal or if I'm married to a serial killer.
It's hard to say what is and what isn't normal when it comes to hotel room behavior. I think the standard, at least what I do, is I like getting the second bed to put my clothes on.
Yeah.
That's where the suitcase lives, and then I take everything out and put it on the bed. That becomes my cabinet.
Big question. Which one do you use as the shelf? First one closest to door?
Furthest away.
You use furthest away.
I go furthest away.
Well,
That
I'd
would
like
be-
to be furthest
because
away so I can have a chance to fight any intruder.
I like being closest to the door, so that also means that you're closest to the bathroom.
Yeah. There's nothing better though than checking into a hotel and that first 30 minutes where you're like, this is awesome. This hotel room rules.
Crank the AC.
Yeah, and you're like, jerk off with the lotion, and you're like, this is fucking sick. I've never been in a hotel like this. It's the same hotel every hotel, and then if you have to stay multiple days by day 2, you're like, get me out of here.
Every hotel, when you walk into it for the first time, you take 2 steps and you go, oh, this is pretty nice.
Yeah, no, I do like the Real World when they would do the house reveal.
Yeah.
And everyone just runs from it. I'll run from the bathroom to just the room.
Yep.
And then back to the bathroom and be like, wow.
I check.
Sick.
I do a couple things every time I'm in a hotel. 1, you got to crank the AC down.
Yep.
Drop it as low as it goes. 2, locate the remote, and if the remote has a sleep timer button on it, that's all I need. And I also like having an outlet that's close to the bed for my phone.
And 3, for me, I rip the sheets off. I hate the fully tucked in.
Yeah.
When you get into bed and you're fully tucked in, worst feeling. So I'll just give them a quick rip.
Yeah, Billy.
Also, check if the waters are.
Oh, hold on. Check if the water.
Check if the waters are free.
Oh,
You know how the water bottles?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, you usually can tell because it's usually Poland Springs free, Voss not.
Yeah, then they have some volcanic water
Right.
that's imported from Iceland that you
Right.
have to pay $5 for.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. So, consensus pick, I say not weird.
I think when you're in a hotel, you can jerk off wherever you want. That's what you're paying for. Essentially, as a guy, if you get a hotel room on your own, you're just getting a private masturbation station.
I also just realized that maybe this guy just jerks off onto the bed. He just doesn't do he will clean up with a pillow or something or the sheets or something because
He just nuts onto the bed.
yeah, and just gets up and walks away. That's weird.
But it's also a power move.
And it's also fucked up for everyone else who has to stay in that
Yeah.
bed. Which, I mean, listen, when you stay in a
You just
hotel-
don't think about that.
Yeah, you don't think about all the cum and the blood and the hair and all that stuff that you're sleeping in.
Yeah, you're sleeping on basically the cover of Metallica's Load album. Mm-hmm. That's what every hotel bed is like.
Okay, next question.
Hey, father of 2 cat, William Fraudball.
Oh.
Pro football coming her.
Oh.
Our darling
Oh,
Jake.
this
I like
guy,
that.
this girl.
And
Totally a
guy.
chick. Definitely a chick.
And Hank, whatever he does for this podcast, I produce it.
Hank presses
Executively.
record.
Produce it.
And he also
Executively.
presses stop record.
Executively.
Fuck this person.
Yeah.
No, I like her.
No, I don't like him.
Definitely a guy. I mean, definitely a girl. I've been seeing this guy since the turn of the new year, and we started dating March 12th. Recently, he got so drunk he ended up cheating on me, but he seems genuinely upset, and we've spoken many times about the future we have together.
Wait. He got so
and
drunk
what
that he
may
cheated
have caused
on
us
you.
to come up.
This guy is a master spin zone artist, by the way. If he's got you telling people that this is what
Oh,
happened,
this is obviously this guy cheated on a girl.
Right, and said, I got too drunk. babe."
Recently, he got so drunk he ended up cheating on me, but he seems genuinely upset. And we've spoken many times about the future we have together and what may have caused us to come up. So
Well, he got
fellas,
drunk.
I have to ask: Is
it's
cheating
probably your fault.
is cheating black and white, or is it more complex than that?
It's probably your fault for letting him get that drunk. Yeah, that's on you. Is cheating black and white?
I
Yeah,
would
I'd-
say yes.
Yeah, I'd say definitely.
Because you basically, there will just always be a moment in
Is
your
porn cheating? Is watching porn cheating?
No, thanks, fucking Mike Pence. There's a moment in every relationship. If you cheat on your significant other, that will always be there. That will always just you could say you moved on, but there's no way you can move on.
It's in the back of your. Also, if you start a relationship because you cheated on the person with that person,
Yeah.
then it's going to be in the back of your head. Wait, that we got together because you cheated on somebody.
Right.
What if this is a little toxic?
He was
of
too
me-
drunk?
This is toxic of me to even.
Oh, it
ask.
just occurred to me.
What
The,
if-
the guy from that first question in the hotel room, Jack. That's definitely Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah,
That's 100%
doesn't count.
Dan.
It doesn't count if it's not the bed you sleep in.
What if your
It's not your marital bed.
takes your Instagram and looks at what you've searched, and it's all of her friends?
That's
Is that
not
cheating?
Cheating.
That's being a dog.
Yeah, that's being a dude.
What about liking other chicks'
Also
pics?
not cheating.
It's not cheating, but it's also you're filing that away. you're adding to a case of evidence that you're building, and that might be one of the clues that maybe you need to dig into this further.
I think liking tweets, Instagrams, that's just being a good participant in social media.
Agreed.
You have to do that. Otherwise, what's the point of being on?
Yeah. How else is your algorithm going to pop off?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
How else is Miley going to know that she looked great in that Versace dress?
Right.
My boyfriend and I have been dating for a little over 2 years. I recently noticed that ever since we started dating, he's always used the same toothbrush. It looks very gross, and the bristles are a mess.
Uh-huh.
I asked him why he doesn't just get a new one, and he told me he's had this toothbrush for almost 9 years, since 2014. I told him this was absolutely disgusting. He said he's never gotten this much mileage out of a toothbrush before, and it's too good to run to stop now. It's on too good of a run. Please tell me you agree that this is gross and that I'm correct in asking him to throw it away. Do all guys cling on to toothbrushes for as long as they can? How often do you replace toothbrushes?
So
Pretty much you go on a trip, bring your toothbrush, leave it in a hotel, and then get a new one.
Yeah, exactly. It's the biggest reason why guys get in relationships probably is just to have somebody around them to remind them to do things like, hey, it's time to change the toothbrush. You can't fight when they say it's time to change the toothbrush. You say, yes, please, thank you for reminding me.
I have 2 toothbrushes. I'm like, something like you can't roll out a starting pitcher every single day. I'll just switch it up back and forth.
Yeah.
And then when I want to switch, I'll switch one out and then rotate, and I'm always rocking 2.
I would say
nice.
I would say I change my toothbrush probably once. Yeah, if I lose it on a trip, but let's just say hypothetically I don't lose any toothbrushes for an extended period of time. I'd say 6 months is
you guys
about
don't
the
have
right
motorized
time frame.
toothbrushes?
I was just say if I've tried it, I don't like it because then you forget to plug it in.
It runs out of batteries at one point, and then you just throw it away.
Right. I've done like 4 or 5 of them.
Come on.
No, I swear to
not
God.
that hard.
No, I swear to God. Like I'll lose the charger.
What does that mean?
No, I will get it. I have had
It's like
motorized,
a universal charger.
right, and then I'll just throw it out.
No, but also in New York, you got a problem because you deal with a lot of pedestal
You guys
snakes.
are
You don't have
rich.
you don't have a
You
lot of
should have-
space to
No,
keep your
this was
toothbrush.
motorized
before.
toothbrushes.
This was before. I used to just rip through them, just lose the charger.
I-
I do that with razors, trimmers too. I probably ripped through like 5 different beard trimmers in the last like 3 years. Just lose the charger.
You know the disposable mechanized ones that have batteries?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You
what
just
I
throw
use.
those out.
I use those, and then it runs out of batteries. Boom, throw it away.
I
don't
have
even get
a
new batteries.
I have an electric one that I lost a charger for, so it's just a normal toothbrush now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just never got a new.
Yeah.
It's still an electric toothbrush,
But it just doesn't have any charge.
doesn't move. It's just
Yeah.
a normal toothbrush.
Yeah. What?
No, I had the same thing.
Yeah, of course. That's a guy thing.
As much as I'm giving you, there's a case that came with it that I thought was the charger, and I kept putting the case on. I'm like, why isn't this charging? And then I asked my mom, and she was like, no, there's you pop off this thing on the bottom and charge it.
Well, you thought that the part that goes over the bristles was the
That
charger?
was the charger. I was like, how the fuck do you charge this case? Like, how the fuck do you charge this
No,
case?
listen. I stand in solidarity with you. Those things suck.
I thought it was like AirPods. Like you put it in the case and then it charges.
You have to be
So-
you have to have your shit together to be an electric toothbrush person. They're
They're
different
so much
people.
more elite, though. All right. Hey, lottery ball winners and Hank, fuck you. My boyfriend and I broke up a few months ago. Good. And he blocked me on every social media. So I decided to make a fake LinkedIn account of a high-level employee at a big company.
Oh.
And have been messaging for the last couple weeks for a job at this company with a huge salary. Should I tell him I have been fucking with him or set up a Zoom interview call and let him see it's me?
Do the Zoom. Do the Zoom reveal. This is some fucked up shit.
The girl's a psycho.
Go.
You sound totally normal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're catfishing your ex-boyfriend because he ended the relationship and didn't want to talk to you.
I hope that typing this out and making you think through the words that you have to describe the situation clued you in a little bit onto how crazy you're being
No
right
chance. No chance.
Well, yeah,
This
she said we
is-
broke up. There's no explanation for the breakup.
now. Who could?
But I
who
can't
could
imagine
possibly
what
know?
that could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Do
fellas.
the Zoom reveal though. That rules. That part will be awesome.
Send it to us.
Yeah, actually, he'll probably
Film it, record it.
He'll probably fall back in love with you.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be pumped. Like, hey, I got this huge salary offer.
Actually, this would be a great way to try to get back together. Zoom reveal, and you're just naked. Yeah, Billy.
This is just disgusting stuff on TV right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what movie this is.
Oh, this is classic TNT where you leave it on the NBA games, and then you wake up in the morning and Charmed is on.
Is this Charmed?
Probably.
It's
Every
they
show's
just had
Charmed.
like some swastika go into this guy's heart.
Fucking glorious, charmed.
Gory.
Yeah, now he's back alive. What the fuck? Okay.
Hey, PMT. I'm a teacher at a high school, and we are celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week this week. Part of that is playing a game every day called Lucky Duck. Every staff member gets to select a rubber ducky with a number on it.
I know where this is going.
I won on the first day
Oh,
with
that's
my
awesome.
duck.
Congratulations.
Lucky number 17.
Congratulations.
Appreciation.
Good job.
I love that you read that.
That's pretty easy. It sounds like this game is simple.
Hey, fellas, my long-term boyfriend and I just broke up under a month ago, and less than a week after we'd originally broken up, my friend found him on Tinder, meaning he had been active. Am I crazy for finding this disrespectful? I know everyone moves on differently, but I feel like less than a week after a long-term relationship is extremely disrespectful
you don't
to me.
you don't get to make those rules.
Appreciate you.
You get back on the horse.
You don't get to make those rules.
Yeah.
If
broken
you're
up.
broken up, you're broken up. If it was before, then yeah, you could be upset. But if you're broken up, you're broken up.
That's
Yeah,
actually
like it's a little bit disrespectful, but it's also like you
don't have anything to do
it's
with
not
each
your
other.
option to be disrespected.
Right.
Yeah, that's the right move. You get back on Tinder. You get back in the game.
Yes.
And you want to be the
Free
first-
agency starts at 12 a.m.
Yeah,
That's right.
Sounds like he's moving on well.
There's no legal tampering period.
Right.
It's cut and dry.
You should catfish him though on Tinder. That would rule. All right, last one.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta read these
Oh,
through
you
now.
always got to read ahead. We as a company should always read ahead when we're reading on something.
All right. Third of the month. Here we go. Hey there, guys. So my boyfriend is a super kind and loving guy, and we have a fantastic relationship, except this one thing. He doesn't use any pet names for me, like babe, sweetie, etc. But that isn't a big deal. However, he uses all those terms for his truck. Even walking out in the morning and wishing his truck a good morning on the way to work. Is this a common thing, or should I just be jealous of a Tacoma?
Yeah, this is a Morgan Wallen song.
Oh, of his Chevy, you mean?
Yeah, of a Chevy.
Of his Silverado.
Chevy, yeah.
Yeah, dude, guys love trucks. Yeah, it's always good. It does sound like a country song, or at least a bumper sticker that a country song will eventually be named after. But just like, I wish he treated me like he treats his truck. Boom, there you go. If you're a female country singer, boom, #1 hit right there.
Yeah, you know what you got to do is if you want to get him to change it, you need to just start calling the truck by the pet names as well, because then he will realize, like, if someone else says it,
Yeah.
he'll have an out of body experience, being like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, or you need to get some sort of appliance or tool that you start having a sexual relationship with.
Sure, you can. Find something.
Maybe your electric toothbrush.
Yeah. Okay.
What's up, sweetie? Let's get
Good
to work.
show.
What that mouth do?
Well, don't do the electric toothbrush because it won't work after like a month.
It's true. Not if you use Duracell batteries, Big Cat.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Hank, you ever gotten this?
Should we do our lucky duck of the day?
What do you? Oh, nice,
Yeah.
Jake.
Same color.
Fire up the duck boat tank.
Nice.
What's the same color?
The balls and rubber ducks.
No, false.
No,
Not
that
even
is false. That is absolutely false.
They're a little darker.
No.
I'm the
That's
Pantone
not-
Two
master.
different colors.
Well, if you're the Pantone master, you failed.
Yeah. Well, you're basically Liam.
I'm on Jake's side.
Are we?
Those are orangey yellow.
Yellow is
yellow
what
is different than
a
orange.
duck is.
And those
No,
are
no,
orange
it's a
yellow. Those are
little
just
orange.
orange.
Yeah, those are orange.
Jake is
Ducks
wrong.
are yellow.
I've seen darker orange.
Yeah.
Okay,
know what
it's
kind
still
of ducks.
orange.
Look at the basketball. I've seen ping pong balls the basketball color.
Wait, Jake.
But
That's
duck,
orange.
We're
Also
talking
orange.
about ducks. Are you? What?
Yeah, I know.
No,
What color's a rubber
What
duck?
couple of colors of rubber duck? Yeah.
Yellow.
Yes. What color are those?
Light orange.
Yes, different colors.
It's more of an
Those are
orange
different
yellow.
colors, right?
yes.
Yes.
It's not
Okay.
even
They're
close.
similar.
I guess.
Yeah.
Every color is similar.
It's
It's all
No.
spectrum. Colors are a
Yeah.
spectrum.
It's similar. Like
Yeah.
good point, Hank. It's like a hockey puck is similar to a baseball, in a way.
It's like saying navy blue and black, but they're different colors.
They are different
That's
colors.
much different than navy blue and black.
Yeah, it's even more egregious.
All right.
That's orange. So have you gotten the orange ducks before?
I don't know what the fuck those are.
It's a common menu at a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
No.
All right. You've never gotten the lottery ball?
Nope.
Okay. Numbers.
17.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
18.
He's
69.
back.
I lost
go-
a bet. That's why I had to do that.
99.
Nice. I'll go 26. Never been hit before. Max?
I'll go 76.
Oh,
interesting.
I'll switch mine to 20 then.
I just saw 17.
Oh, I just saw 76. Oh, that is 86. 86.
So close.
86.
4 times.
Not even close.
Love you guys. Billy?
Tennis rackets used to be made with sheep intestine.